Phones, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Any additions to the agenda? I'll give them another minute then. Where'd they go? They were just here talking. What's it at? What time is it right now? And a half. 30 seconds. Well, it's just they may have something to add to the agenda possible. Yeah. All right, I called the meeting to order. I'm just was asking if there's any additions to the agenda. We'll go to Rudy there first.
Good morning, Reeve and Council. I have one addition. We'll call it 35B under closed session. It will be relative to ATIA Section 30, Land and Property, and this will be a closed discussion that will be connected to the Item 6 presentation by Agricultural Services. So to that, Reeve, if you wish to go into that portion of closed after the Agricultural Services presentation, we can do that one at that time if you like.
Okay.
And that's all I have for additions, Reeve.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else? Donna?
I have an addition. I'm not sure what to put it under.
What's the item? Then we'll figure that out. What's the issue?
Well, if I told you the issue, we wouldn't have to go into
Oh,
closed session, yeah.
is it a legal issue? Is it a land issue? Is it a labor issue?
Can we put it as personnel or
Yeah, you can probably do personnel for that.
no?
I don't know what your issue is.
Rudy does. Compliance?
Compliance? Well, it could be legal.
It'll probably be probably simplest, Reeve, to put it under legal.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's a closed session C? Legal. Anybody else? I see Cody's not here again. Anybody? Nobody? Okay, well then a motion to approve the agenda with the one amendment, or the one addition, two additions. Kara?
I can do that. I just needed the ATIA section for the item that Donna had added. 29, thank you. I move the agenda as amended.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Now we've got a series of agendas to adopt. Pages 6 to 10 is the first one. If we can move through this fairly quickly, we've got a long agenda. Anthony?
You looking for the first minute?
Yeah.
Page 11. Under 10A there, it says lights on Highway 759, that should be 753.
Okay, thanks. Glenn?
I move to approve the minutes of the July 15th, 2025 regular council meeting with correction of 7:53.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Next set of minutes, 11 to 20. Any errors, omissions, corrections, comments? Anthony?
I move the minutes of the special council meeting as presented.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. From 21 to 23 minutes, special council meeting. Go ahead, Anthony. You were saying something?
I move the special council meeting for August 6th minutes as presented.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. And finally, the four set of minutes, pages 24 to 25. Okay. So we got all four, eh? Well, there was the urgent ones, pages 6 to 10. That was the first one, and then there was 3. Okay. Follow-up action list? Go ahead, Rudy.
Thank you, Reeve. A couple of items to bring to your attention. The work on Rocky Rapids Community Hall has progressed, and I think Mr. Walker is here to provide an update to council this morning. Also, item 304, the work with the Town of Drayton Valley, Village of Breton, and the Brazeau Foundation with respect to the new retirement living complex. Those discussions and conversations are now underway. And thirdly, the aggregate levy bylaw, that is back before council for additional information this morning.
Just refresh me, Rudy, on the seniors lodge there. Who's representing us there?
So I think that they will finalize more of a committee as this thing rolls forward. It was a kind of a general community initiative at outset, so I was representing Brazeau County there. Councillor Wiltsey was there along with yourself, but I don't know, Reeve, that we've formalized a delegation that will be sitting on that task force, but that formal work should get underway probably in the new year.
Okay.
Oh, Councillor Gunderson was in attendance as well. Anthony was as well, that's right.
It's a memory test. Donna?
I've been thinking about this because I'm not running in the next election, so should you take me off that board right now as they're doing?
No, you're still elected till the end.
Okay.
No, I don't believe you. Okay. We have agriculture services.
The follow-up action list. I move to accept the follow-up action list for information.
Thanks, Glenn. All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Okay, agriculture services.
Good morning, Reeve and Council. On page 26 of your agenda, you'll find an RFD for a request for stewardship of county-owned property at Northwest 36-48-6 west of the 5th from Leduc Fish and Game Association. On June 3rd, Leduc Fish and Game Association presented to council giving an overview of who they are and what the association does. After that initial presentation, they submitted a request for stewardship of county-owned property Northwest 36-48-6 west of 5, which they will maintain as a conservation project. This county-owned property is a 160-acre parcel historically operated as a county grazing lease, HG 008. However, the most recent lease agreement expired in 2015, and at that time, the lease holder opted to not renew, and therefore, grazing lease HG 008 is currently open with no lease agreement in place. This property is mostly forested pasture with some water present. Recent inspections showed that there are some perimeter fence posts, but no wires. The Duke Fish and Game Association owns the property adjacent to the south of this property in question, and the future uses of this property could include outdoor education, habitat restoration and maintenance, wildlife observation, and plant identification, among other things. So based on this information, it's the recommendation from administration that council accepts the proposal from the Leduc Fish and Game Association to act as stewards of Brazeau County-owned property at Northwest 36-48-6 west of the 5th as a conservation project, which will be subject to no fee, a 5-year renewal, yearly inspections, and prior approval by the egg fieldman before any on-site improvements or work is complete. And attached, you will see a satellite image of the property in question and also some ground level photos.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Is this the land issue? Yeah. Oh, okay, so, we're gonna have to have it in closed. Is there people here from Fish? Oh, you guys are there? Okay. Do you guys want to give your presentation, or have you got more comments to add or anything, or is? Yeah, if you're going to speak, we need you to come up to the microphone so that we can hear you and so we can also record it.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add, just that we are kind of in a late process this year to getting birdhouses, like the birds are leaving and stuff like that. But we've made 86 birdhouses and 7 bat houses to be put there. We have an order in for some fruiting shrubs from a place in Saskatchewan and one in Manitoba that's starting up, so we can get into that in the spring. But we would try and get out there this fall if you guys all agree, and get some trails establishment started so that there be foot access in the spring and stuff like that.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you. Kara?
Well, if this was last week, I would have had a bat to give to you that I hadn't caught in my house and let out for your bat houses. Anyway, with that, I believe there's a portion of some information that needs to be given to us in closed session, and I'm willing to make.
I'll call the meeting back to order. Anthony?
I move to come out of closed.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. I think we were on Ag Services, 6A. Pardon me? Oh, we need a 5-minute break. We're on 6A, Ag Services. What's your thoughts, folks? Kara? Then
Thank
Glenn?
you.
Or you're both making motions?
Nope, I was just going to make a couple comments. I think this is a great opportunity for the county, and I think it's a great opportunity to feature our municipality and what we have to offer. I think going back to the presentation that was made in June, it sounds like there will be a lot of children from outside the community coming in. So I think it's just an absolute gem for us to do this and work alongside. I think there's a couple other comments that want to be made. I think of interest for me, there hasn't been any interest on the leasehold on this for 10 years. The last time I can see on page 26, the last time a leaseholder had this was in 2015 and opted not to renew. And I think this is just a great opportunity, like I said again, to work with the local association and educate our future generation.
Glenn?
I had a chance to talk with the fellas with the Leduc Association here, and they said that what it is, they do have property next to this, a quarter section, but it doesn't have the same topography. It doesn't have these streams through it. Theirs is just trees. So this isn't just for birds and birdhouses. This is also to showcase the beavers and stuff in this area. So, and that does lend to this piece of land that it is so much different, and it would be so much varied. If you're going to have school tours, like they said, through this or for the scouts to go here, or hunting and fishing exercises, like I said, it's an ideal piece of property for that. Yeah, like I said, it's wouldn't be a big deal to lease this for 5 years.
Donna?
I think it's a wonderful opportunity to partnership with our neighbors, and, yeah, Fish and Wildlife can tutor and mentor so many children that could go into those different areas of employment. So I think it's a great idea.
Anthony, then Kara?
Could we still ask the individuals a couple questions?
Yeah.
With the property that you would be, fixing up and then, or at least, making the trails and like, and then bringing in various students and the like, you would be able to have some type of written up agreement within our agreement to ensure that liability doesn't fall, say an accident occurs on there and one of the school kids
Yeah.
injures themselves, that there would be no liability to Brazeau County?
On other expeditions that the schools have, they have gone through their board and got approval for transportation and stuff like that. And we are affiliated with the Alberta Wildlife Federation now, which was Alberta Fish and Game. So we have a $5 million coverage for any incidences, and this is all covered through an educational section of that insurance policy. We also have our own liability insurance that pertains to our properties. And so there'd be no liability on the county of Brazeau to have any occurrence implemented on you guys.
Just clarify, you already got one quarter right beside this one?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
And that is being given up by the oil company now. So we are going to be taking control of the vegetation on there. And we have a rough cut mower, which we will be implementing to cut the areas. And we're expecting that to come through in the spring when they release that property back to us. It's a being abandoned well site.
Go ahead, Anthony.
And so you'd also be needing to be aware, I guess, that should for whatever reason Brazeau County need the land back or want it back for whatever they may choose to use it for, that would be within a certain notice period you would relinquish it. You understand that, right?
Could you clarify that?
Okay, well, I mean, we don't know what the councils of the future might decide with properties.
Okay.
So if the council of the future decided that they wanted to sell that quarter, for example, well, then we'd need to have control of it,
Okay.
or that council would have to have the control of it. So that's the kind of thing that, you'd have to keep in mind, excuse me, that there would have to be a period of time to relinquish it too, that we give you notice, but then because of that council's choice, it may not be the same as what any given council previously may have decided.
Okay.
So you'd need to have that in your
Now,
mindset.
so on our, if we have a lease on there, and if you were to sell it, would we have an interest in purchasing that, or is there?
I can't speak to what the next council may say to that, because
Okay.
if they have some plans for, then I can't necessarily, I don't know those plans. But all I'm saying is, we have to allow that next council have that opportunity to make decisions that they see fit.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a weed issue on the one that you've got already? Is there a weed issue on the one that you've got already? Because that can be quite onerous to look after once the weeds get in there.
Well, it's, we are going to do the open areas with the rough cut. There's a lease, then there's a power line right away. And as far as now, the power line is still staying, so we are not responsible for control of that. It's still the power company or who has that. But the lease area, we would take over and make sure it's met with specs.
Carrie, you got your light on again? I've got a big black block here, so.
I move that council accepts the proposal from the Leduc Fish and Game Association to act as stewards of Brazeau County owned land at Northwest 3648-6 west of the 5th as a conservation project, which will be subject to a no fee, a 5-year renewal, yearly inspections, and prior approval by the egg fieldman before any on-site improvements and/or work is completed.
Any other comments? Dallas?
So how long have you gentlemen been with the Leduc Fish and Game Association? And what is a little bit of the history? I know it's been around for a very long time.
How long have I been there?
Yeah.
I started in 2012. I moved from BC and then took, second year I became vice president, and then I alternated with 2 other guys every year.
I see. How old is this association? I know it's old.
Yeah, it started in 1967,
67, okay.
and the Alberta Mother Group was in 1905.
Okay, I know you've been around for a very long time, and you have a very good track record.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been a part of the Leduc Fish and Game Association when I was a young guy, participating in all the events, and I've enjoyed it immensely. You guys are great stewards of the land, so I'd like to say thank you for that.
yeah.
However, in this particular case, I lean more into the agricultural potential of this quarter section rather than the conservation side of things. And that's just because I'm an agriculture first kind of guy. But I think you guys have done a marvelous job, and I have just tremendous respect for you, and I appreciate the energy that you put into this. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm similar to Dallas in that regards there, that I lean towards agriculture as a priority over conservation. Farmers were the first conservationalists, otherwise they wouldn't have the farms today. And so they take good care of the lands as well.
I know I grew up on a farm in the Barhead area
Oh, yes.
for many years, and like, my hands are clean today, but yesterday they were full of dirt because I was in the garden, and the community garden that I look after, and yeah, it's, you know, anything you can help nature in any way is all a benefit for everything, eh?
Any other comments? There's a motion on the floor. Oh, go ahead, Dallas.
So are you familiar with the Eagle Points Blue Rapids Association here at Drayton Valley? They're lean very heavily into conservation,
No,
wildlife.
No, I am not.
Okay, yeah, so they're pretty big in this area right here. I've just had the privilege of being on that board just for a couple of meetings, and it's a delight. So they're kind of in the same space that you're in. And I just think it would be great if you guys would collaborate, maybe come together, and you could share a lot of resources, I think. It'd be
Yeah.
a great benefit.
Okay, we also have 2 groups in Leduc. One is heavily involved in tree planting all around town. They've done the Telford Lake area last year. I was part of that group, but now with my other 2 commitments, I didn't have time to join this year, or to keep on joining. So, yeah, and, yeah, if we can get that name and stuff, we could try to work something out. And last Thursday, we had a call from the Boy Scouts. They have 42 eligible candidates this year, and they're interested in our outdoor programs too. We will be building a camp eventually at our Pigeon Lake property, which will coincide with all their outdoor education programs too, but that's still in the works of getting approval and stuff.
Yeah, terrific. Yeah, I used to teach high school here at Frank-Matic High School, and another fellow, Greg McNeil, and myself, we ran the outdoor education program. And we did exactly like you're talking about. We paddled the North Saskatchewan River from Rocky Mountain House right down to Genesee.
Okay.
And tremendous, it'd be great to have, there's just a little bit of lack of continuity between partners, but if there were greater continuity, it'd be a lot more. So I think that'd be great. So anyway, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor? Those opposed? Okay, 2, so the motion passed. So you're away.
Thank you. Is there any that we have to do, or?
I talked to the staff about signage and things like that. We just make decisions. We don't necessarily do the hard work.
Okay, we'll wait.
Okay, community services, Rocky Hall, demolition.
Good
What's our
morning.
strategy?
Good morning, council. I'm here on Mr. Chambers' behalf. He's on holidays this week, but as you'll recall, back in October of 2024, Councillor Brooks at the time directed us to work with the Rocky Rapids Community League to pursue discussions to address concerns with the Rocky Rapids Hall. I'm here today with an update on those discussions. Right now, where we're at, earlier this spring we came to council and had asked for funds to proceed with a hazard assessment. We have the results of that the hazmat assessment on the Rocky Rapids Hall. It did come back. They're just based on the age of the building. There is a large amount of asbestos that does need to be dealt with there if we are going to do anything. And if council recalls prior discussions, the utilities department is working with the neighboring property who is also tied into the Rocky Rapids Hall's artesian well. The cost to get that neighbor onto the system, as well as the artesian well reclamation, is looking at about $25,000 for that. Cats, I know that we've had quite a few discussions about the cats at the Rocky Rapids Hall. We did reach out to the local shelter here. They are unable to accommodate, but we do have a verbal confirmation from Parkland County that they may be able to assist. Unfortunately, that would mean that any resident cats that were potentially captured, they would have to drive a little farther to pick those up. But the projected cost from Parkland County to assist us with that, to house and care for the animals, would be $2,000. And we are also recommending an additional allotment of $3,000 for any incidental veterinary fees to go along with that. As I mentioned, we did undertake a hazmat assessment of the hall. The assessment showed multiple products, including asbestos and lead paint. As this portion is outside of our in-house capabilities, administration has reached out to a contractor, and they have quoted us roughly $127,500 for asbestos and hazardous materials abatement, and that would be prior to any demolition. At the time when I submitted the RFD last week, we had not received a quote back for the actual demolition. I did receive that late last week, and for demolition and removal of all materials and site reclamation from an outside contractor, we would be looking at about $40,000 as well. So total project cost roughly would be right around $198,000 for removal of the hall, as well as care for care and capture of any cats present at the hall at that time. 198. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I have a few questions through the chair to administration. First question, have you been in close contact with the Hall Association? So this is a bit of a unique situation. I think we don't own the hall, we don't own the land. But I would suspect the community group is in no financial shape to look after this massive liability.
Through the chair to Councilor Westland, Mr. Chambers has been in contact with the hall. They, I believe, are on board with the demolition. However, you are correct that financially they are unable to take on the demolition themselves.
Okay. So my next question is, you may not have the answer, and it's fine. Now that we know what the liability and the risk is here, we must address it, I suspect. We can't turn a blind eye anymore and any longer to it. My next question would be, is insurance, is there any part of this that could be covered through the Halls Association's insurance?
Through the chair to Councilor Westland, I don't have the answer to that question at this time, but
Okay.
I can make sure that we get an answer to council on that.
Okay, this is a massive environmental liability.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Through the chair. With this water well being artesian, are there any benefits in keeping it? If we're going to have a dog park in that area, you could have an ongoing fountain, runs 24 hours a day, or even water for the kids at the playground. It seems like a waste to close that well to me. I mean, that seems like a real plus to have something like that in that area.
Through the chair to Councilor Gunderson, in speaking with our utilities department, they did have a couple of concerns with it being that it is an artesian well. It would need to be monitored quite regularly for freezing and overflow. As well, the well itself is currently inside the hall, and if the hall is demolished, there would be an increased risk to the aquifer, just with it being out in the open in a public area like that, where somebody could potentially put some kind of hazardous material down.
I agree that we could build an external building around it, though, for the size of, it wouldn't be that big, but I really do see a benefit to running water lines out to a future dog park where the animals could have water, you know, and it wouldn't cost anything if it's also it's pressurized all the time. So yeah, I hope that would be into some sort of considerations to keep that. What's the cost to take that well out of service then?
The cost to take the well out of service and tie the neighboring property into municipal services would be $25,000.
Okay, thank you.
Easy for it, had an artesian well that a lot of us got our water there from. I'm amazed it's still going though, is it?
Sorry, the
The
artesian well
it's still flowing
at
well?
Easy Ford.
No, not Easy
sorry.
Ford, Rocky Rapids.
Rocky
I
Rapids.
just brought that up as additional information.
To the chair, yes, I believe it is still flowing well. I do recall in the last few years, there was at one point some minor flooding at the hall because the well had overflown, so I do believe that it is still flowing.
There's always those insulated shacks that the oil companies use that just sit down over top, you know, which is a quick fix. That'll go to, I don't know who was first, Anthony, then Donna, then Kara.
Yeah, Glenn kind of touched on my question about the water well, but we've also had earlier, in, I don't know just exactly when, possibly in the last year, a request that there was a need for agricultural water source on this side of the river. Could this artesian well be harnessed and set up for that type of a facility?
Through the chair to Councillor Heinrich, it could potentially, however, the proximity to the playground, all of the mailboxes at Rocky Rapids, as well as the outdoor rink, I don't know that that's necessarily something that we'd want to bring an increased level of tractors and heavy traffic into there as well. Our utilities department had also expressed concerns with potential turnaround area in the existing parking area, just because it is such a high traffic area with the playground and the mailboxes.
Donna?
I am with Glenn. When I saw that the artesian well was going to be capped or whatever, it's so historic. Like, everybody used to come from miles around and get their water there in the olden days. So I'm hoping that we can showcase it somehow. It would be, and it would be too, like you said, too dangerous to have it for a fire hydrant type thing. But, yeah, maybe all of us can come up with something, I don't know.
Kara?
Thank you. Just maybe, and I'm fine with going first, but Dallas has been waiting quite a while. I
Oh,
think
I
you
didn't
couldn't
even
see
see
his
his
light.
light.
You couldn't see his light because I think the basket
Oh,
was
that's
there,
why he
so-
moved the
So I'm
basket.
okay to wait because he hasn't. Whichever.
Just
okay.
go on.
Okay, thank you. A couple questions, or maybe a couple points for council too as well. This is not our land, correct? So it's pretty hard. We would have to, anything that we do with around the water well would have to be done in conjunction with the association, and final approval would be actually more or less up to them, not us. And I agree, I know this is a significant landmark for the community, but it's a derelict building. It has been, I don't think it's been occupied in, oh man, I've been on council for 15 years. I grew up in this area. I think that building has been condemned for at least the last 20 plus years. You might not have the history on that, but I would suspect it's been at least 20 years before it can have had any occupancy in there. So it's the problem, I hear like, yeah, because that was another question I probably asked offline, of what would it take to restore the building? And it's just, it is not feasible.
No, she wasn't looking
Yeah.
at the
No,
building,
I know,
just the
but
well.
just, I know the conversation may go down there, and I have had some questions from the public about restoring the building, so just it's on record that this building needs to be, what I'm afraid of is two things. It's gonna catch on fire, or it's gonna fall in on itself, and then in itself is a massive risk to the public too as well, so. I think some great suggestions. I think in here it's being suggested, obviously nothing's gonna happen this year. It needs to get put to the 2026 budget. So maybe going forward, just some discussion with the association, if there's any way to keep the well or what that would look like. I think you're hearing council's wishes to see if we can utilize that. The other piece to this, and I'm encouraging anyone that's listening or watching or in the audience or on council, when you're having discussions with people, the master rec plans are being worked on right now. And I know there is talk for a dog park and some other use of the land in this area. Again, we have to be really cautious because we don't own the land. We can't tell them what to do. But would encourage that some of these conversations also to take part when we have our master rec conversations. I think it would be absolutely wonderful to have a dog park there. There's a lot of interest in the community. The other piece with this artesian well, it would be a great place for a splash park. And I think if anyone has, even in the last 6 months or even a couple years, have been into this area, I think Tristan did a great job. Bart, we were just there opening up the new playground. It was steady flow of traffic in there. Like, it's incredible the amount of people that accessed that location, not only for the mailbox, but the arena. The other question I have, and I think I know the answer, the outdoor arena has municipal water, correct, to flood? Because this was the other thing I know for years they used that well to flood the arena. But I believe the arena got tied into municipal water a couple years ago. So they flood the ice not with that artesian well anymore, they do it off of our water.
Through the chair to Councillor Westerland, I would have to confirm that
Okay.
with our utilities department, but that does sound correct, but I will confirm that with the
Okay.
utilities
I'm
department.
adding another reason maybe to hang on to
Yeah.
it, because if something happened, they've always got the backup water supply to flood the arena, so.
Yeah, the power goes out, the artesian doesn't. Dallas?
Oh, I didn't know there was an arena there.
Well,
I just thought it was a rink.
Yeah, it's a covered rink is what it is.
Anyway, so my question is for administration. So how does this work? What's the process? If the building, the society, the community club has been disbanded or dysfunctional for 2 decades or more, this, in my understanding, is that it gets turned over to the province, and the province deals with this, and it does not fall to us at all. So where's the province in this?
Through the chair to Councillor Ekstrom, this would work similar to our community hall funding agreement, where in the event that the society were to go defunct, that the property and assets would be turned over to the county. We have in our community funding agreement for the new matching proponent, there is a clause in there, in that agreement, that in the event that a society goes defunct, the property turns over to the county. And this would work very similarly. We would have an agreement in place prior to the work commencing.
Okay, so through the Reeve,
Yeah.
I'll just use the Moose Hill Hall as a comparator. So was the agreement or the association that we had with that particular society or club different than this? Because we're still stalled on the Moose Hill trying to get anything done there. And the province is dragging its feet, as per usual.
Through the chair to Councillor Ekstrom, so that the Moose Hill Hall would predate our agreement with the funding aspect. It'd be similar to what happened with the Cynthia Hall, where at that point in time when the Cynthia Community Association went defunct, we did not have those types of agreements in place, and so the land and buildings ultimately went to the province. With our new funding model with Fin 7 and the matching proponent for revenues, we have added that into our agreements.
Okay, even though, like, I'm just kind of stuck. It hasn't been functioning for the last 25 years. So there's been no funds allocated to that building or to that society, that club. So you're ahead of me, but.
Yeah, again, through the chair to Councillor Ekstrom, the Rocky Rapids Community League is still a functioning society.
Oh, it is.
The hall itself has been derelict for a number of years, but the actual community league itself is still a functioning society in good standing. They were successful last spring with the CFEP grant for the playground at Rocky Rapids that we just put in. So the community league itself is functioning and in good standing. It's just the building that's been derelict.
Oh, I see.
Anthony? Then Kara?
Yeah, I think you just clarified what I was going to point out is that Moose Hill Group is no longer in existence. That the society has been struck from the records, society records. This one hasn't, so that would be kind of the difference that I see. But it's an interesting concept, why, we aren't responsible for that one and we would be for this one. So I think that's the only possible explanation.
Go ahead, Kara.
Thank you. My computer decided to reboot on me, so I was prepared to make a motion, but I'll just wait a second, and actually maybe I can just use the screen in front of me. Before I was going to make a motion, I am going to defer this to the 2026 interim budget discussions, because I think that's the most appropriate place to put it for now. My question would be, before we do that, and I don't know if I need to include it in my motion, I hope not, but I would, maybe I'll look for direction from administration on this. I would really, when it comes to the budget deliberations in November, make sure that we've explored the avenues of possibility of insurance actually paying for this. I'm not sure who's the association's insurance is through. I know who ours is through. And unfortunately, I don't believe ours would cover it because we don't own the building, we don't own the land, but I think it would be something to explore for sure through the association. If we can get their insurance to pick up, even if they pick up a portion of the bill, it would be, I think, helpful in this case. The other piece to this too, my question would be, and I know I do have a lot of big background in this. I don't know if there's any grants or any either provincial or federal help. We're not the only municipality dealing with these type of situations and these type of facilities. I don't know if there's anything out there. Have we looked into that?
Through the chair to Councillor Westerland, we have explored grant possibilities. Unfortunately, a lot of the grants are for building, not demolishing. That said, at budget, if there was, something that council potentially wanted to see, we could look at potentially applying for the larger CFEP grant, because there's two. There's the CFEP small and the CFEP large. We could potentially look at applying at this for the CFEP large, and that may potentially cover part of the demolition. Again, administration would have to look into that further, but there is the potential there.
Okay.
It could be a good spot for a demonstration site and or like a not a museum, but the history of Rocky Rapids, pictures, posters, things like that, and you have a small building there that in houses, that artesian is something that I'd really like to see us hang on to that, because that's historic. And it's supplied a lot of people with a lot of water. So if we, in a thinking process, that we should be doing something with the artesian and possibly to have a small building there for maybe some of the local, history, because there's a lot of history, Rocky Rapids General Store, instead of having it all in Drayton Valley, why couldn't we have a little,
Did you know there's a war memorial there? Bet you didn't know that. Right beside where the mailboxes are
yeah,
and where the outdoor rink is, there's a war memorial.
oh, well, see,
And
you
it's
could tie
covered.
that in.
There's a little covered tin little roof that covers the war memorial, and it's residents from Rocky Rapids that fought and lost their lives in World War II. See, I know something. I think this is a great conversation. I think maybe in essence of time, the demolition, this part of this discussion needs to go to the budget 2026. And I will for sure, when I'm actually on the Master Rec Committee, I will be taking the ideas and the conversation here to that committee too as well, and looking at
Which
potential.
committee is that?
The Master Rec.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
They're doing the Master Rec plan. We remember we're doing it jointly between the town and the county, and I'm really excited to see and have a conversation with the community about what could potentially go there. Again, I'm going to really emphasize this is not the county's land. We have to do everything that we do there has to be done in conjunction with the association. We do not own the land. We do not own the well. We don't own any of it. But I would love to help foster those conversations. I believe it's about 6 acres. There's some really cool potential and some neat projects that could happen there if we all work together on it.
So why do we own the liability if we don't own the property or the building?
We don't.
Huh?
We don't.
No, but it's just, why is it assumed that we have the liability if it's not even our land?
We don't have a liability. I never said that.
No, there's a building that has to be demolished, which
I
is
know.
a liability. So how do we have that liability when we don't own the land or the building?
I agree. But the community hall association is in no shape to handle this type of liability. So that's why I've asked the questions that I have. I'm hoping, working with the association and having them have a look through their insurance to see what's there, and look at other potential areas to give the association a hand with dealing with this issue.
Okay?
I move to,
Oh,
sorry.
Dallas, he's got it.
Yeah, also, I think there's a lesson here. And that is that when a building is condemned 25 years ago, how is it able to stand here for this long? That's not, we need to look at our policy or look at our agreement and what we have in place and explore that, because that is not acceptable.
What's not acceptable, just demolishing it, or?
Well, that a building is condemned and
Oh.
it stays there for a cat house and potentially kids to go in there and smoke cigarettes and potentially fall through the floor and get harmed. Like, that's not all right. That's not acceptable.
Good point. So did you make a motion already, Kara?
I move that council adds the Rocky Rapids Community Hall demolition to the 2026 interim budget deliberations.
Discussion? We got out of that one, didn't we? All those in favor?
Thank you, council.
Thanks, Christian. Planning and development, no reports. Public Works. Our Public Works guys here? Oh, Pippa's here. I didn't see you sitting there in the corner. That's where I spent most of my school.
All right, first one here. Here for the heavy-duty four-post lift replacement. So council to direct administration to proceed in replacing the heavy-duty four-post lift at the amount of $90,000 plus GST, funded from equipment replacement reserve. So following a recent inspection and safety review, it's been determined it's no longer serviceable and must be replaced. We did have information from the company servicing it that there was parts of it, replacement beam that's discontinued, so no longer able to replace. And then wording from the lift company that even if a refurbishment was completed, is a certainty that the lift would not pass inspection. In 15 years of lift service, they haven't seen a successful refurbishment of a heavy-duty four-post lift with similar deterioration or corrosion. This is approximately dated 2007, so it's almost 20 years old. It's not ALI certified, so it was bought pre that ALI Automotive Lift Institute servicing stamp, so that's also a big holdback in being able to get it certified to a safety standard. So then this plays a critical role, and potential safety risks may lead to regulatory noncompliance. This is something that was on our radar coming up at budget time, bringing this a little bit sooner because we've had a recent OH&S inspection. So this brought this to light a little bit sooner, having to address it. Any questions?
Okay, so if there's no questions, we're gonna need a motion to pass this, or not. Donna, and then Glenn, then Dallas? No? Glenn, you got a question?
Through the chair to the Public Works. Have you considered the portable lifts, the single ones? I mean, most of the truck shops in town now use a portable lift that does each wheel. So it seems like it seems like a preferred way. I know Nelson Brothers, United Truck have all gone that way. I'm just wondering why go with this style?
Go ahead, Mike.
So the lift is used more for the automotive end of things. The heavy-duty end of things, we do have a pit for oil changes, which works just fine. Drive it on, change your oil, grease it, kick it off. We have enough automotive equipment that the hoist is needed for automotive, whereas those lifts for automotive, they work definitely for oil changes, but when you end up having to do ball joints or steering work, that sort of thing, you have to put it on a stand anyway. So the mechanic that uses it, Kevin, he said he'd just prefer to continue on with the four-post lift.
Go ahead, Donna.
I move that council direct administration to proceed in replacing the heavy-duty four-post lift up to the amount of $90,000 plus GST funded from Equipment Replacement Reserve.
So this wasn't budgeted for? Oh, okay. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Waste oil collection. You done, Mike? Yeah.
So bringing back this waste oil collection transfer station report, after the motion was made to approve the purchase of the hazmat C container, actioning in 2026 subject to RMA grant. After that motion was made, a little bit more research into the grant and communication with them, we learned that there's multiple times throughout the year that they reopen and accept applications. So we did submit an application and get approved funding this year in 2025. So it was the option if council would like to rescind the following motion and remake it, with the only change being that it's in 2025 as per the approved ARMA grant, actionable in 2025.
So it'll cover 15,000 of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anthony?
I was gonna make a motion, but I don't know if that. So then, first motion, I guess, is to rescind motion 114 slash 25, 0304.
Discussion? Kara? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Okay.
Second motion, I move that administration recommends I move that we approve option 2, the purchase of a hazmat C-can container outfitted with storage to be positioned at the Lyndale transfer station for the collection of waste, oils, and antifreeze and other materials as approved, actionable in 2025 as per approved ARMA grant in the amount of $60,000 funded from Engineered Structures Reserve.
Dallas? Question?
Yes, question? So to Public Works, the hazmat can container is fully mobile, so it can be winched onto a truck and taken to another site? Toot sweet?
Sweet.
No problemo? Okay, because in the motion, we're gonna start at the Lindale Transfer Station, but it may be more prudent for us to move it around the county if it becomes quite popular, as more central location, like the Buck Creek Waste Transfer Station, quite central, maybe more use there. And so if it doesn't see a lot of use out there, I mean, why is somebody gonna drive all the way over from here, all the way over there? No, they're gonna come here. So if it's more central, it may be better, maybe not, I don't know that, but as long as we can move it. And I'm not sure that I need to give Public Works direction to do that, but I'll just,
Yeah, we could
Let that
make
motion.
sure I diarize it to give council follow-up of
Sure.
usage in intervals. Yeah,
that'd be great.
yeah.
Do
Thank
we
you.
only have the one site that we're proposing right now, just Lindale? Or
Yep.
Yep.
a mobile one like Dallas is talking about? We don't collect oil anywhere else?
Oh, we do, yep.
Not in the oil barrels, not in this state. We have that collection we do annually, where there is the option to take it in smaller containers.
Oh, but there isn't another site like this one?
Not like this. no.
Okay, well, we may want to take a look at the budget and have one on one side of the river, one on the other. You have the bigger population on the west side of the Saskatchewan, and then you've got the farming community, which is mostly on the east side. Glenn?
To the chair, this was just a pilot project to see how it went. I do agree that it'd be nice to be able to move it around. You know, if it's not getting any use, try it at another place, and then bring back some numbers. But yeah, just a pilot project first to see, does it get used? Is it, before we go spend a bunch of money on more of them? But I like the idea.
Anthony?
I think on page 43, you have to read condition 14 and make sure the interpretation of that if we move it, that it still applies. Otherwise, if it's moved within 5 years, according to that condition, we'd have to refund the money. So you'd have to check on the meaning of condition 14.
Yeah, that's some follow-up that we could do. But I don't know why they'd have a problem with moving it around. The idea is to try to pick up as much used oil as you can. Dallas?
My interpretation of that particular clause would be that the location is Brazeau County. That would be my interpretation.
Not ours.
Right, yeah, I'm not a rule breaker, but I certainly would push the envelope.
Or just have a conversation with them. There was discussion at council about having it mobile, so we could pick up more oil than just in one place. Who made the motion? Anthony did, okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Wow, look at all these letters. Range Road 75, south of Township Road 494.
Yeah, so, last budget discussions, 2025 interim budget discussions, it was approved for $357,000 to do an asphalt surface on Range Road 75. So administration did issue this for tender. The submitted estimates came in significantly higher than the approved budget. So the budget was $357,000. Approximately $809,000 was what the tenders came in at. So based on that, we did not award. Two factors came into that: base preparation requirements. So in us giving the cost estimate for the $357,000 was coming off of our knowledge of the base and where we thought it was at. So we thought it was in good condition. Paving contractors will not warranty their work unless the base is constructed or reconstructed by them to meet their own specifications. So that added significant cost to the bids. And tender timing. The projects of the nature are ideally approved at the interim budget rather than final, so that we can get it out early in the year, January, February, while they're still building their year and looking to do jobs. And then just to addition to that, we did talk to Town of Drayton Valley recently, just having a verbal conversation. They confirmed that this project is not on the priority list for 2026 as well. So looking for council's direction, one option would be to defer the project to the 2026 interim budget, come back with more realistic budget price, and also this would allow for tendering and the potential for more competitive pricing early January, February. Another option would be to remove the project from the budget entirely. I don't know what council thoughts are, how you'd like me to proceed on this one.
Kara?
I was prepared to make a motion to defer to the 2026 interim budget.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor.
I didn't quite do that, but I will. I move to defer sorry, I should probably, I move to defer Range Road 75 south of Township 494 to the 2026 interim budget.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Sand and gravel. You taking this one too, Pippa?
Yep. So, looking for council's direction, provided a few options. So based on the motion made at June 17th, 2025 council meeting, administration to bring back the aggregate levy bylaw and explore the ability to make the voluntary payment compulsory. So options to consider, an option one, default invoice based on activity plan. So introducing a clause stating the failure to provide a quarterly report detailing the volume of aggregate hold will result in the county issuing an invoice based on predetermined set amount. Option two, increase penalties for non-compliance. So propose a significant increase in penalties for non-compliance. There is a small amount in there right now, just throwing out a number suggesting a structure starting at $20,000 for the first offense, with penalties doubling for each subsequent offense within the same year. Option three, mandatory declaration of exemption status. Under this option, administration would require all aggregate operators to submit a quarterly report regardless of whether aggregate was hauled. In case where no volume is reported, the operator must declare applicable exemption clause under the activity qualifies, because there are exemptions, which I've put down below option three there on page 49. So there is a bit of a clause in the bylaw already, so that would just be a bit of change on the administration side and being able to enforce that. So again, no changes that I've attached to the bylaw for reference, and I didn't make any changes to it, just with these three options with discussion with council, which direction you'd like us to kind of look at.
Yeah, I don't want to make sure we don't make a bylaw that we can't enforce, for one thing, and we spend a bunch of money trying to get some money that they don't want to pay. I also agree, though, that there should be some sort of a levy on the gravel. There's royalties on oil and gas, there's taxes on oil and gas, and I don't see that sort of revenue stream coming in to help repair the roads that get wrecked with the gravel hauls, which we're part of as well. Kara?
I agree with you, and that was actually my caution with this, is how do we enforce this? And that's why Bigger's taken a step back. That's why even provincially, this has always been a voluntary, because there's no way to, you're at the mercy of the company reporting numbers.
So through the chair to council, there is some wording within that, and so we do verbally, they say, well, there is nothing to report because of, and they'll note an exemption there, whether it's used for an Alberta infrastructure project. So there could be the extra change in administration process as following up on a more continual basis to enforce, it's not much behind it, to try and get in writing them confirming the amount hauled out, confirming in writing if there was an exemption.
So just so I heard you right, so there is no levy on provincial road infrastructure? Is that correct?
Shipping originating from pit lands owned by Alberta Infrastructure or leasing to Alberta Infrastructure and Crown, using or used for a project that is being undertaken by or behalf of Alberta Infrastructure or municipality. So that's been recent descriptions when we have had pushback. It's claiming that it's being used for an Alberta infrastructure project. And that is one of the exemptions within the bylaw that we have to have in there.
So we're not taxing ourselves either with the gravel we use? correct?
I,
Like, we don't pay a levy, like on the county gravel?
no, we're not hauling it out of Brazeau County. Yeah.
Okay. Pardon me? Yeah. Anthony?
On page 54, it talks about violation ticket and plead guilty and payment in amount shown to the provincial court office. Who gets that money then? Do we get it?
Through Chair to Councillor Heinrich, that is something I'd have to run by Lee with the community services for the bylaw officers, the CPOs.
Because if we're issuing these tickets, I figure, you know, it's an offense within our county, we should be getting that revenue, especially when it's so seemingly significant penalties that we're issuing. So to me, you know, if it's being paid as it says here, on condition number 12B, showing on ticket of provincial court offices, like, to me, that, I would want to make sure we're getting that money.
Yeah, and just because from a public works standpoint, I'm unsure, but that would fall under community services, CPOs.
How did we come up with these numbers? Did we take an average of Leduc and Parkland and Yellowhead and Clearwater and, like, how did we come up with these fine numbers? Like, is it a similar fine for other municipalities?
I didn't compare the fine amounts to different municipalities.
So I was just trying to figure out how we came up with the numbers. We just picked the numbers? Or did we do some research with other municipalities to see how they handle it?
The numbers that are currently in the bylaw,
Yes.
I can't speak to that, so I don't have the history on this bylaw, so I can't speak to that.
That's fine.
Yeah, I could definitely do more research as what other municipalities are doing now. I just don't have the history as to the fines portion of it. It's not something that's covered under Public Works. We don't enforce in the fine section of it. That would be forwarded on. The agreements are forwarded on to community services, and then CPOs do any enforcement on road use agreements, et cetera, for the hauling.
Go ahead, Anthony.
And also on page 49, where you're showing the areas of exemption for gravel hauled to certain uses, how do we keep the gravel producer from misrepresenting, I guess, where the gravel is going from?
Through Chair to Councillor Heinrich, I touched on that a little bit already. That has been the struggle, and as mentioned, verbally, if you do reach out to be like, there's no quarterly report, the response is claiming an exemption under this. So I don't, yeah, administration could put more effort behind that and in trying to get something in writing, stating from the company what it's being used for. I'm definitely struggling to get that enforced, and speaking to other municipalities having similar things as well, right?
Because
we're not looking where the trucks are going and being able to
No.
manage.
But I mean, if we look at the business plan of a given company, and I'm not going to name the company, it suggests that they're hauling it to a cement plant, and yet I'm hearing that that's not what they're telling us when they're trying to have the exemption. So to me, it seems like even their business plan suggests something different than they're telling us in realities. So I think we need to be able to enforce that part is what I'm getting at. And there's statements that I figure if they're put it in their business plan, unless they revise that business plan, and that business plan, from what I've seen, if we look at MPC's work, it says that we're approving that development permit at MPC based on the information provided in the documents provided by the applicant, which includes their business plan. So for me, we have conditional approval based on that type of use, at least suggested use. Now, you know, that's to me is leverage, and I think we need to start exercising that rather than accepting that we can't get payments on some of these hauling out, like shipments. And I think the other question is when you're talking about the municipalities, find out how they're enforcing it. Like if they're enforcing this, they must have times, or some municipality must have run into it too, where they've had challenges with what the gravel pit operator is telling them and, you know, how they're maybe getting their levy. Thank you.
Dallas?
Yeah, the significant impact to our infrastructure and a significant amount of revenue generation here. So it's very important that we get this right. Complex issues require complex programs, procedures, bylaws, policies, whatever it is, that's no problem. For us, we may have to do some spot checks to determine whether or not there is compliance. You don't have to follow the truck to its final destination, but all you have to do is pull the ticket, and the operator will have to give you a driver's log or whatever it is that his point of load and his point of delivery. That stuff is clearly in his journal, and if it's not, it should be. So yeah, and we do. I mean, we're reliant upon their good nature in order for them to comply. And I think that they will. And I think most of our aggregate producers are complying in some way or another. They have in the past. So I think they can do this. I think we can pull this off.
What are we charging per ton?
40 cents.
40 cents now?
Yeah, 40 cents.
40 cents?
Yeah.
And was that an increase, or is that,
That was an increase, so a year or two ago,
okay.
2 years ago now.
Glenn?
Thank you, Reeve. That's just a comment, but page 54, there is a spelling error. Enforcement should have an E in it. So that'd be one reason to maybe open this back up, but I'm looking at option 3, make it mandatory for operators who report no volumes hauled in a quarter to still submit a report stating the specific exemption clause 9A or D under which they're operating. I like that because they don't have to do, anything, but at least now they're doing it in writing and showing you, yes, we don't have anything, and it's under these clauses. So if there is an enforcement where they stop and ask for that ticket, where are you going? Then they'd be contradicting themselves. So that would be one way to clean this up, and that's a very non-invasive way. It's not very expensive for them. Like I said, as long as they're doing everything right, they're in good shape. But yeah, I would like to see this bylaw brought back just to correct the spelling mistake and to bring in that option number 3, mandatory declaration of exemption status.
He wasn't erasing what's already been, asked of you as well. I assume, Glenn, right? Like getting this information,
No, that wasn't the intent to
Okay.
do that, but
just to add this other requirement.
are we bringing this back then?
I think we have to, because we've asked administration for some information. And
Okay, I'm good to wait till we get it brought back then.
Anthony?
One of the reasons we asked, or at least I remember asking, bringing this back, was to ensure that this bylaw is a mandatory requirement, not voluntary. So I didn't know, when I read it, I couldn't quite get that clear definement. Can you show us, or at least can you ensure that it's not voluntary, but it is mandatory?
Okay. There is no wording currently that it's voluntary. It is also mandatory, but it's the enforcement side of it. So I can definitely do some more research. Let me see how they're collecting. I've talked to a few. I'll talk to a few more and bring that information back, and maybe just in jointly working with the CPOs and community services as well, just to ensure what wording and what changes can be made to make it more enforceable.
Because if Kara and Dallas maybe can help, at MPC, I believe we had a motion made probably 2 meetings ago or thereabouts, recommending to council from MPC that they review the bylaw, council review the bylaw, aggregate bylaw, and make it mandatory for the payment of this aggregate levy. So that's why I'm bringing that up, to make sure that, that message is transmitted. And so I'd like to see that clearly in the bylaw.
So you've got enough direction to bring it back?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's what I was just trying to think. Are we getting a tabling motion till, go ahead, Anthony.
I move to table this aggregate bylaw until further information is brought back and the bylaw is amended accordingly.
Discussion? No discussion. All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Caught myself. Hilltop Acres, how's that going?
For formality now, we're just needing to approve a budget amount, backing onto the grant we received. So looking for council to direct administration to proceed with approving a budget of $320,670 for major facility capital investment for the Hilltop Stormwater Improvement Project. So we've got the approved grant through the Alberta Government Drought Flood Protection Program. There's a brief background there. Project description, this part of the project will complete detailed engineering design, regrading of existing ditches, replace and install new culverts, and create a stormwater storage pond. On page 58, just shows the proposed budget, provincial and municipal portions. Once budget is approved and project ID is assigned, then administration can then draft and prepare to issue a request for proposal out. This year in 2025, maintenance staff, weather's put us a little bit behind, but we are going to be completing preliminary work in the Hilltop Acres area. Includes the drainage ditch within the parcel of 8020 Township 494 and possible culvert cleanouts. But this is to be able to utilize the grant funding in 2026.
Glenn?
I move to direct administration to proceed with approving a budget of $320,670 for major facility capital investment for the Hilltop Stormwater Improvement Project as described in approved grant agreement number 26GRD FPP07 through the Government of Alberta's 2025-2026 Drought and Flood Protection Program, DFPP.
Discussion, go ahead, Kara.
Thank you. Just a question through the chair to administration. How much money is in the facility capital investment account?
Through Chair to Councillor Westland, I do not have that answer. That would be directed to finance. I did confirm with Colin with finance where had availability and where should I ask for the funds to be directed from.
Okay.
So what did we get for a grant? What was it?
Close to 700,000.
How much? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, just under 700,000. I think it was 680. Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't see it there. I'm
Yeah,
blind
50
and deaf.
58 there.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Just a question is, will any of this work be done in-house with our staff?
Through the grant funding, we are unable to do
Oh,
it
okay.
in-house, that's part of it, but just to be able to do, make a few steps this year, we are doing some in-house with our own budget this year in 2025, some minimal work is described. That was on page 58 there, the preliminary work, which is just, we've identified a drainage ditch within a parcel, just needs some clean out and some possible culvert clean outs. But the portion for the grant, it does have to be tendered out and it cannot be done with in-house.
And we've
staff
got,
equipment.
we've got the written agreements with the required lands for putting on the drainage system?
We do, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, did we have a motion on that? Okay. We haven't voted yet, have we? Rudy?
Thank you, Reeve. To Councillor Westerland's question regarding the amount that is in the fund, we currently have approximately $1 million in that fund, so approval of this will drop that fund to about $625,000
Okay,
remaining.
thanks. So we spend 300 and we get 700. That's a good deal. All right, got a memory loss here. Did we vote on that? No? All those in favor? Okay, that's carried. You're kind of the popular demand here now, huh? Is there anybody else working besides you?
Yes.
All right, take it away, Peppa.
All right, this one for the ACP grant. So just continuing on from earlier discussions I've heard today regarding the Fish and Game collaboration in Rocky Rapids Community Hall and the current Master Recreation Plan Committee. So this is a regional partnership funding opportunity for council's consideration. Administration's been looking into options for transportation and utility master plans. In conversations with MPE, there's a potential of a grant through the Alberta Community Partnership Program. This is a regional grant, so it would be a partnership with the town of Drayton Valley. A little background, MPE is a division of Englobe. It's a professional engineering firm. We're working with a grant specialist there. We've recently worked with MPE to acquire the Hilltop Drought Flood Protection Program grant that I just brought up. So the regional transportation network plans focused on evaluating the conditions of all the roads in Brazeau County and town of Drayton Valley, collecting and analyzing traffic volumes and data to understand patterns, peak demand, capacity issues, identifying infrastructure deficiencies, assessing infrastructure upgrades, incorporating all findings into each municipality's 10-year capital plan to assure alignment between both municipalities. The project's estimated to cost about $200,000. The way we're proposing this is applying for 2 grants, and that's why the motions are made that way. So we have applied for 1 grant for $200,000 for a transportation plan, with the option of Brazeau County taking lead on transportation plan and the town of Drayton Valley partnering with us. And then for the utility master plan, town of Drayton Valley applying for that for an additional $200,000 with us partnering with them. So there is significant funding available for regional collaboration projects such as this. There is already a motion for me to bring back the utility master plan at interim budget. This is just an option for council to consider.
What's your wishes? Yeah, if you have to, go, Donna, go. Glenn, go ahead.
I move that administration recommends that council make Wow, I screwed that up, didn't I? I walked right into that.
Well, we've been gone for a
I
month.
move that the council of Brazeau County supports the submission of a 2025-2026 Alberta Community Partnership Grant application in support of the Regional Transportation Network Plan project and is prepared to manage the grant project and related compliance requirements.
They do that on purpose. They put tongue twisters in these things here.
I don't know.
These recommendations.
It sounded so good when I read it in my head, and then, yeah, when I said it out loud, it's like, well, that's a mess.
You got a discussion, Anthony?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I brought this up, I think, in a conversation earlier, but, or at least I think I did. The beehive thing, Bart, I'm going to use your analysis of where you referred to the beehive. This master plan, I want to make sure that it also covers the further out areas and their priorities of those roads compared to the pressures or the traffic flow that's going to be around the town. So I want to make sure that this plan fairly takes into consideration that there's going to be lesser travel on some of those further out roads, but they're equally important for the economic growth and people's mobility in the further out areas, and that this plan doesn't more heavily arrive at weightings that would put the roads around the area of Drayton Valley at higher priorities than some other roads further out. So I want to make sure that concern is taken into consideration, Bart.
Yes, so there's always more bees closest to the bee's nest, and there's always more traffic closest to the edge, but you have to cultivate the far ends of the fields, otherwise you won't have the honey for the bee's nest. So what Anthony's talking about is focusing on the outside area, and we've been doing that since I've been elected. That's why we paved roads like the Carnwood Road. You know, there's more traffic closer to town than there, but we tried to spread the pavement out to the farther sides, Lodgepole, Cynthia, you know, Buck Creek, all of those places we put ahead of just road counts, you know, so Anthony's got a good point. We want to make sure that that's captured in this as well.
Yes, so through the chair, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and that would be part of managing and building the program and talking about the criteria structure and ensuring that the criteria for, say, the road counts, et cetera, has a weighting on it. So say that that's 10%, making sure that the road counts is not 75% of the rating system or something like that, and that would address that concern, I believe.
Yeah, because everything converges in Drayton Valley essentially.
Right.
So you're always going to have more traffic closest to Drayton Valley, always. So, Anthony, more discussion? It's green.
Okay, now it's on. In our road study that we have, it also weighted political, one of the factors it allowed for was political input, rather than just all the factors that were like vehicle counts and the like, maintenance costs and all that. I think we still need to have that component of political input into any of the eventual decisions, because that then does allow for, I'm going to say, the balancing out of roads that are further out.
Through the chair to Councillor Heinrich, I did review a few available online through other regional partnerships, and there was wording in them mentioning to align with council's strategic goals. So I'm not sure if that would cover that portion of it. And that was a part of the criteria too, that there was a section of it aligning with council's strategic goals.
Yeah, as long as it covers it somehow in the translation, so. All right, so there's a motion on the floor. Glenn's made it. Discussion, all those in favor? Just vote opposed, because you weren't here now and you were too slow. Those opposed? Those opposed? Those opposed? Donna, okay.
Because she doesn't even know what she's voting on. Yeah,
But
there is
she-
a provision, there's a provision to allow
But
that.
she had to vote sooner or later. You always have to vote.
No, you don't. And she doesn't even, she said that she doesn't even know, she wasn't even here when the motion was made, so.
Okay.
She can't vote on something, because there's also a provision saying that you can't vote when you don't know what's going on.
Go ahead, Anthony. Are you making a motion? Motion number 2. Go ahead, Anthony.
I move that council I move that council supports Brazeau County and the town of Drayton Valley submission of the 2025-26 Alberta Community Partnership Grant application in support of the Regional Water and Wastewater Plan project.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous.
Okay,
What are we on?
last one from Public Works here, the undeveloped road allowance closure.
Great.
On Taverna Township Road 500. RMC Group of Companies has submitted a request that is attached on page 76 to close a portion of an undeveloped road allowance adjacent to Northeast 3149-6 west of the 5th as referenced in Development Permit 25D-026, Condition 28. Council is being asked to consider 2 options regarding this request. On page 74, I did put a snippet of what the condition within the development permit was, what the ask is. Option 1, council direct administration to bring back a road closure bylaw for closing of undeveloped road allowance north of Northeast 3149-6 west of 5th, and allow the landowner to purchase and consolidate the land into the parcel. Option 2, council direct administration to draft a temporary road closure for Township Road 500. We've seen that option in the past. I did reach out and receive an answer this morning from RMC Group. In the reclamation plan, so the last map, which is on page 80, you'll note that water body A, so the one at the north end there, does go right through the undeveloped road allowance. So I did ask them about the ability to move that, fill that. The response to that one was, it is not possible as it would require a road in the middle of the lake. This would require more fill material than they have on site and a new reclamation plan from the province to be approved. We did also ask them about the option of doing a realignment of the undeveloped road allowance around the water body. We've seen that similar in the past, and they did say that that could work. They are open to working with Alberta Transportation to find an alternate route that will not require a new reclamation plan. So looking for council's direction and feedback on how to proceed with this
Kara?
request.
Through the chair to administration, the question I have is this road closure, should this not have happened a long time ago? Is this just oops again from this company? Seems to be a pile of oopses.
Yeah, option 2 ultimately would have happened a long time ago. This is a bit of a formality after the fact.
Anthony?
I would like for us to pursue option 2, and that would be similar to what we asked Lafarge, or got from Lafarge as well, on the water, road right-of-way around the water body, which still allows for future access and certainly allows for hand or foot access, for individuals that wish to walk into the park and that, being that the parks and everything's there. So I would make a motion that, if you're ready for that, Bard?
Okay, I'm just looking at the two motions. Go ahead.
I would move that administration proceed with option 2, which would require for a temporary road closure, and that they pursue an alternate right-of-way that basically replaces or substitutes for Township 500.
So when it's a temporary road closure, can it be brought back as a road? Like, let's say they haul all their gravel out. Could the road be put back after they haul all their gravel out? Or is that not even an option for them,
Potentially, depending on their reclamation plan.
right? You got a motion there, Dallas?
It's on the floor, but the reclamation plan is what it's all about. So they could redo that if absolutely necessary, which I don't see being absolutely necessary at this point. However, I'm not in favor of letting go of statutory right-of-way, even if it is under a lake. Statutory right-of-way should still remain under our authority. So this is the right direction to take.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Anthony.
and that's why, but Dallas, I'm saying that if they get a alternate one that goes around the lake, we still have a right-of-way. It's just now, instead of going through, it's going around it, and that's what we did with Lafarge too. So it's has history, and so it still gives us our right-of-way.
Talk in the microphone then. Go ahead, Donna.
I didn't get everything after, on Anthony's motion,
It's option 2. It's just right in the book there.
but he has stuff after that. Okay.
Tina, they're asking you to read.
Moved by A. Heinrich that council direct administration to proceed with option 2 to draft a temporary road closure for Township Road 500.
What was the rest of it?
With the inclusion of an option of Township Road 500 right-of-way around the lake that still would give us our right-of-way. So in other words, and that it would include a new right-of-way, then you could call it, that would go around the lake. Pond, okay, pond.
by A. Heinrich that council direct administration to draft a temporary road closure for Township Road 500 and work with Alberta Transportation to realign a new right-of-way around the water body.
Discussion? All those in favor? Okay. All right, it's public input time right now. It's an opportunity for the public to provide any direction to council. If you have some comments, just make them to the chair, that's myself, and be respectful of staff and council. So is there any, and online too, if there's anybody online, just speak up. Anybody got any comments? Yeah, you got to come forward. You know the route there. You developed a trail there from that seat. Yeah, you all are. That's better than the alternative, you know. Go ahead, state your name for the record.
Good morning, everyone. Peter Calvert from Range Road 83. I came in here plans of giving every one of you a good chewing over my road, but you came out in the last 2 or 3 days and you're kind of filling in a few holes. So it's better than it was.
Good.
But it needs a lot more work, and if you don't want to lose it, you better start putting some covers on. One thing you haven't done, and that's do something with the main intersection. They haven't put no tar in it, they haven't done nothing with it, but like you say, it's gonna take a tandem load, maybe a tandem and a half a load to fix that approach. So are we just gonna leave it and make a bigger mud hole?
I don't know, that's transportation's, I guess, the approach, eh? Coming off the highway for the first 100 feet or so? I assume.
Yeah, it's time to quit throwing the buck somewhere else. It's time to fix the road.
No, we were just going to raise your taxes.
Well, you already did that. Last time I was here, I couldn't say too much because I hadn't paid my land taxes.
I see.
But now I did pay my land taxes 3 weeks ago, and that gives me all the right to bitch and bellyache.
Yes, it does, Pete.
And also run for a leader, maybe.
Yes, yes.
And maybe I would if I wasn't pushing 80.
Yeah, well, you're lucky you made it that far. I mean, I'm going to stop talking.
You want to put your other foot in there?
No,
But anyway, it's well appreciated what you've done to our road, and you, when I told you last time that you should go for a drive on it again, I meant it. I come in here to back myself up. I learned that from my dad. You don't depend on anyone else to stand up and say something for you. Now, I complained about my road, and if your road is that rough, then the position that you're in, you're the one that should be doing something about it. Same as I'm doing with my road. Am I right or wrong?
you're not selective anyway, and that's good. We don't get debate. But thanks for the first part of your compliment.
Okay, the next one was, it's over the lines being painted around the UFA. It's well appreciated. But how about doing the Lodgepole Road and the rest of the roads in this country? Because if I had a new electric smart car without a steering wheel, would I ever get to town? Because it's got no lines to follow?
Yeah, the highways are transportation. We're not passing the buck, but we have a responsibility for
Yeah.
local roads, and we tax people for local roads. The province gets tax revenue from other sources, income tax and oil and gas and forestry and stumpage and all those things. So they have a responsibility. That's their lane that they stay in. We stay in our lanes, doing your roads.
Yeah, but the Lodgepole Highway, the road to Elsite to Warburg is still in the Brazeau County.
Yeah, but that's
So
all.
can't, we lit a fire under somebody last time to do a bit of painting.
Right.
So can't we put a fire under somebody this time to paint the highway, one yellow line, and 2 white ones.
Right.
Not just a 3/4 of the road. That's like taking your car into town, into the body shop and telling them, just paint 3/4 of it, next year we'll paint the other quarter.
I think that was a strategy that they used to save money by doing the
Yeah,
center
but that
line
was
every year.
25, 30 years ago. We have a new company looking after our roads, Leadcore. So don't contracts get renewed every 4 years or 2 years?
I don't know what their contract process is. That's, once again, the province lets out those contracts. So we could always send a letter in, if that's what
Well,
you want
yeah.
to do, and ask them to let us know when they plan on painting it. There's a need for it. I know, especially at nighttime. Kara, you got a comment?
Yeah, just a suggestion, it is a massive issue. Donna, you're probably going to back me up on this. You drive to Lodgepole on a provincial highway, yes, it's AT's, I don't care about the contracts, it's Alberta Transportation's responsibility. It's paved to a certain section, and then there's a section not painted, and then there's some more that's done. It's, what I think is happening is the contractors are out of time, and then they forget where they've started and where they've left off, and it seems, it's a huge issue. 39 is really bad too, 22 is bad too. I would suggest a letter is great, but something we need to do first, and Pip is not, oh, Pip is here. Can we call AT and let them know we have some massive issues with the line painting in this area, that there's huge gaps? And I know exactly what Mr. Calvert's talking about, because I've been out to the Brads a few times this summer, and I agree with you 100%. There's lines in some areas, some sections of that highway, there's nothing. And regardless if you have the new self-driving cars that are out there, it's really difficult at night to see where the ditch and where the highway is.
Well, that's the thing.
759 is bad too.
So everybody agrees with you.
With electric car, would it pull over to the edge of the road or go over to the fence line and sit there?
I don't know, I'd have to
I've
rely on your
always
wisdom.
wondered about that.
Yes.
And another thing was,
And the road is lines, I'm telling you. It is, you are actually, if you are not paying attention, you will end up in the ditch with those quote-unquote self-driving cars.
so electric car ain't a great thing to buy. Another thing was the roads. Why can't they be checked every so many hours or something? Like now, you take the Yellowhead, and I know this for a fact, every 72 hours in the Yellowhead, every road is checked. And you guys, you claim that up until a month ago, that no one's ever complained about Range Road 83. Well, don't we have anyone around in the MD that checks roads?
I defer to administration. They must check the roads. Just, I didn't hear it, so.
Yes, we have an inspection program that's done regularly, and we put roads on a maintenance list as required.
Okay. So it is being done.
Well, why did it take them a year to figure out there was something wrong with the road?
I think they probably knew. Yeah, they knew. Donna's raised the issue a few times, so.
So many roads they can do in the summer. And the 83 is it this year.
Well, even
One
our
of them.
gravel, a lot of our gravel roads, they're not being graded either. So you put calcium down, but there's lots of long stretches in between that there is no calcium and the road still ain't being bladed. Like, are we short of operators?
No, I don't think so. I think they do a pretty good job, Pete. Our staff are
Well,
pretty,
is our area out the window or
no, it's not, and
it just never came in?
they work pretty hard for us, Pete. You know, our staff do, so, I don't want to have you pick on them because,
Well, I'm not picking on you, I'm picking on you.
yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Anyway, I appreciate for the work that you've been doing on 83, so I thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. At least you brought it full circle, so that's great. Thanks for all the compliments, Pete. Okay, we got, anybody else? Anybody online? Anybody online? Nobody? Okay. All right, so I'm going to come out of the enclosed session and we'll get back to work. so we are on finance, I think. Colin? 36 million?
That's right. Good morning, Council. As mentioned on page 81 of your agenda, you'll find the bank reconciliation as of June 30th, 2025. As the Reeve touched on there, we have maintained our high collection on the property taxes there, so another good year as far as that. So no big issues really surfacing in that regard. If Council has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If not, I would ask that Council receive for information.
Have we ever made a graph of over, let's say, the last 5 years where, how much revenue we're bringing in, you know, so that we could actually visually just see, you know, is it going down? Is it spiking? Is it?
Yeah, to the Reeve. So I have provided some things in the past, but I do have, I could prepare a document doing that very quickly. I have the base information there to just be putting it into a graph. So I can coordinate with Mr. Friesen there and have that sent out to Council so you can see the picture as well. And, you know, same thing, we can head into that in interim budget as well and use that as a focus document. But certainly I can provide that information.
Okay, thank you. Kara?
Very rarely do I ever have a question on the bank reconciliation, but for once, I do. My question would be, through the chair to administration, just we have the comparables from last year to this year. That is huge difference. What is causing the over $20 million difference there?
So through the chair to Councillor Westerland, that would be a timing difference. So essentially what happens is when we get that out in coordination with banks, we ladder you know, our short-term investments throughout the year. So what that would be is we have started to utilize a kind of short-term high savings account there that provides a good rate. So at this time last year, we would have already started laddering some of that out. So if we receive some of that tax money in sooner, we go out and invest it out of the general bank account earlier. So we would have collected, I believe we had about an increase about $2 million this year in municipal revenue. So we actually collected more this year, but last year would have been about the 34. So we just would have had it invested outside that account earlier.
Because I think, yeah, right away it's shocking if you actually look at the numbers going from the 10 million, you know, and change from last year to the 35. So that makes sense. Thank you for the explanation. So the only difference over last year to this year is we obviously had about a $2 million bump, which is great. The other piece is we're earning better interest on our money in a high savings interest account, which is also interesting. Which bank do we use again?
So we stay to the big five banks here, all with principal protected loans and things like that. And so what lots of the banks have started to do now, which is nice, before we used to really utilize 30, 60, 90-day notice demand accounts, where you'd have to put in your notice to get them within that 60 days. Now lots of the banks, even RBC we've seen now lately as well, Bank of Montreal and ATB, we can have a treasury or high savings account with the benefit of the liquidity where we can really put it on demand when we need it. Before they used to offer so lower rates, we had to chase the longer commitments. Now they're really bringing into that short-term purview there, so we can treat it much like we do our general savings account and things like that. And lots of them have, you know, maintain a balance of $5 million and earn this good rate.
Yep.
So we can put it in there, have the great rate, plus the benefit of the liquidity when we need it for projects.
What do you think the changes from the banks should move like this? I'm only asking questions because I'm involved in another, well, nonprofit. I have no problem. I'm talking about the gas co-op, the local one, and it's public, so I can talk. We have actually got the same thing too that we're finding, because I'm on the finance committee. The same thing. We're putting all our money into we're actually earning more interest in this high savings interest account than we are on our other investments, and it's fabulous. We're getting 8% actually right now. Like, it's incredible. But I'm wondering why the banks. Do you have any idea? Because I've kind of asked the bank and they gave us no explanation. So I don't. Maybe in your world you can get a better one than I can, because I can't get an answer about. There has to be some bang for the buck for the banks to do this. And how long do you foresee it rolling out? Because we're going to have to watch really closely that they're going to roll this back, and we need to be able to move quick when.
Yeah, I see lots of it, and lots of them are decisions made in Toronto and some of these locations as well too. And what you'll see sometimes is where a bank, whether they've had, you know, bad experience to some of their exposure to certain industry sectors. I know with Drayton Valley, you know, in that 215, 214, some of that, a lot of those banks, credit unions, they wanted to limit their exposure out here. So they really started giving not favorable rates and really forced you to move into a different product there. Where now it seems, on some of them anyway, they're coming back, even municipal lending. There seems to be more people wanting to get that that cash deposit business there. So it seems kind of that strategic plan that they have in the head offices in Toronto on, because you can tell, like I say, RBC, really, they've never been competitive as far as investments, and we just had made, for the first time, I think in my time, last month, did some investing with them. So someone in their head office there has made a conscious decision to say, oh, we'd like to get into this municipal lending world there. So like I say, it doesn't appear to be a whole lot of rhyme or reason. You see one come in, then you see another go out as well too. So it fluctuates quite quickly.
It all depends on their goals as well. And so about 10 years ago, Royal Bank wanted to get $6 billion into agricultural lending. And so they had very favorable rates to the agricultural sector. They backed off of that a little bit, it seems, but they were trying to hit a goal, you know, and so that's what you have to see with all these other big corporations is what's their goal, you know, what are they driving at, so.
Yeah,
But
that's
we
exactly
only
right.
have limited ability to invest our money in certain things anyway.
Yes, yeah, everything must be principal protected, so that limits the, you know, what you can get in some of that regard.
Yeah.
We're ready to make a,
You're what?
I can make a motion if you need.
Yes.
Just before I do, just a compliment to the staff and the work that you're doing and paying attention and keeping your fingers on the pulse on this one. So I appreciate it, because at the end of the day, the work that you're doing, it equates to good use of taxpayers' dollars and making sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck. So I really appreciate that. In that ever-changing world. So with that, I'll move the bank reconciliation statement for June 30th, 2025 for information.
Those in favor? Carried unanimous. County Audit Services,
Yeah, so on page 82 of your agenda, you will find a request for council decision in regards to the Brazeau County External Audit Services. The formal request for proposal was put out for external audit services on May 12th, 2025. Through the Alberta Purchasing Connection portal. We had 17 firms view or download our RFP, and then we ended up having 4 firms actually officially submitting a application. The submission of the 4 applications resulted in the scoring that can be found on the bottom of page 82. And with that, the recommended action from administration is that council appoint Matrix Group LLP as a provider of external audit services for Brazeau County for the fiscal year ends of 2025 to 2027, based on the requirements specified in the external audit services request for proposal. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Anthony?
Colin, how long has Matrix or its previous name, because I think they just changed ownership names for a while back, but how long have they been doing our auditing?
Off the top of my head, I would go through the chair to Councillor Heinrich. I would say approximately about 15 years they have been the external auditor. So what we find is they really have the, similar to our assessment services, they have a real stronghold in that municipal sector throughout the province of Alberta. So they're really the main player.
And were some of the others that they're scoring fairly high here on page 82, are some of them also fairly much into the municipal world?
Through the chair, Councillor Heinrich, yes and no. There's maybe one more proponent that garnered some consideration. One of them, the big down point is cost as well too. They would be coming in at about, you know, say $35,000 more as well too. So price is a heavy consideration into some of those as well too. As far as the added-on services that Matrix can provide, they're a fantastic resource for the finance department, as in that we can pick up the phone at any time and get through to them. Some of the proponents are from very large organizations where you don't get that responsive service as well too. And overall, the qualifications would be a little bit lower than what Matrix could deliver.
Okay, because with that, only reason I was bringing it up or asking the question part is, when you're with one firm for a long time, it might be just to make sure you get another picture, another set of eyes looking at things that might have been a thought to change, but if the dollars are that much difference too, that's another factor.
Right. Donna?
I move that council appoint Metrics Group LLP as the provider of external audit services for Brazeau County for the fiscal year ends of 2025 to 2027.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Schedule of fees bylaw.
Yes, so on page 85, council find request for council decision for reading a bylaw 1214-25, otherwise known as the 2025 Schedule of Fees. The recommended action is the council give all required readings to bylaw 1214-25, the 2025 Schedule of Fees bylaw. At its meeting on July 15, 2025, Brazeau County Council passed a motion to begin incorporating the animal control fines in the Schedule of Fees. So that is one change that's being brought forward here. The second change is to include a flat monthly rate for unmetered commercial buildings that were not previously included in the Schedule of Fees. We now have a building that would fall within this this charge here, and to allow us to charge for that service, we do have to include that in our Schedule of Fees. The animal control fines bylaws can be found on, or the fees related to it can be found on pages 104 to 105, and the unmetered sewer rates can be found on page 94 of your agenda.
What was that first part you talked about, buildings? Where is that at in here?
So that would be, so the unmetered water rate, that would be found on page 94 of your agenda.
We're not taxing farmers, are we?
Ooh, we are not. And through the reef, so what this is more specifically, and it is listed out here in the agenda, this is specifically for the former boxing association in Lodgepole there. With that changing over into the use being changed, we did not have a category for this. So the utilities department had done some canvassing with some other municipalities what the rates are, and they have come up with the charge included in the new Schedule of Fees proposal.
So the flat rate, don't they use the water rate to charge a sewer rate? If they, like, does that have a water well? They have their own water, but they must dump their sewer into us somehow, right? So is that what this kind of covers at $60 a month? So, so the $18 is, oh, they didn't have anything there. Okay.
Yes. So just for information, previously the classification with it, it was exempt with the use of it before. Now with it now leaving that exempt status, we are now, same thing on the municipal tax side of things. Previously it was an exempt building. Now it is subject to taxation on the assessment, and then as well with the sewer charge as well.
So it's just a guessed rate then? The reason I'm bringing this, if they put a meter on their well, we'd know exactly what they're putting into the sewer, or, right?
Yeah, and to council on that one, that is you know, if they were to reach out, you know, I'd leave that to the utilities and to Public Works there, but conversation certainly if that was being approached from them, but for the time being, we don't have a mechanism to place a fee on that in the current state.
Okay. Anthony, then Donna. Donna, have you made a motion? No. Okay.
Okay, this may not be fair to ask Colin, but on page 104, on the proposed penalties, and I'm looking at number 3, 3.2, and 3.B and C, and one says animal bites, barks, chases vehicle, has a certain level of fines. Then animal barks, bites, chases, attacks any person, and it has the same level of fines. To me, I would suggest that if that dog is biting a person, it should be more severe, and or somehow maybe even required to be done away with, rather than having the same type of penalty as if it's chasing the car. So to me, that's kind of you know, I guess I think that's undervaluing humans.
You're getting some head jiggles.
So Colin, if we were wanting to change that, you'd have to basically, how would you go about that, I guess is what I'm asking you.
Can we do with an amendment?
You could make a motion to amend that clause and then you would adopt the bylaw as amended.
Okay,
But
cool.
you may be cautious about giving all 3 readings today then.
Well, I guess I'm asking then if council agrees, because I don't want to make a motion if I'm just the only one thinking that.
You just got to take your chances.
Okay. Well, I move that we amend the fee structure penalties for 3.2C on page 104 for where animal barks, bites, chases, attacks any person, that those fees be double what they are listed on this page.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? 2. Dallas and Bart opposed. Okay, now we have to deal with the whole bylaw. Go ahead, Anthony.
I move first reading to bylaw 1214-25, 2025 schedule of fees bylaw.
So I'm opposed, and I've stated it in the past that I was opposed to this bylaw with the dogs. I think we're turning our municipality into a police state by getting everybody to be fined to death. You know, there's a lot of these things that just happen with dogs, and people can't be in 100% control. When it comes to biting and things like that, that's a no-brainer, you know, but all these other ones, it's just getting out of hand, I think, so. Go ahead, Dallas.
Yeah, so when an animal, when an animal bites a person and and a person is harmed, the county will receive the fine. So the person who was harmed received nothing. So I got bit by a dog, I got over 60 stitches in my head, I got nothing, I didn't ask for anything. But the point being is, if somebody is harmed and it's a serious harm, that will have to be sorted out likely in court, right, for compensation. And this really doesn't reflect how that pans out. So I understand the intention of what change that we've just made, but it really doesn't help the victim, which is really what we need to try to do, in my opinion. So I didn't support the bylaw up to this point. I'll support the fees up to this point. I mean, I can't stop what's already been done. But that's why I don't necessarily like it, but I'll support it.
Go ahead, Anthony.
My intent by making that change wasn't with the understanding or belief that penalty would go to the person. It's my opinion and belief that we should be considering an offense where the dog bites a person a much more serious offense, and that dog has to be dealt with more severely and the dog owner penalized more severely than a dog that is simply running along and chasing a truck or something. To me, that's less physical harm to a being than what happened when a person got bit. That was my interpretation of what I was proposing.
Donna.
So if this dog has bitten twice, if this dog actually has bitten once and it's severe, it should not, it should be destroyed. So, I don't know how to. But then does that bring in law enforcement, like courts, or how does that work?
Yeah, I would, through the chair, Councilor, say there would be a civil mechanism for dealing some of those things as well too, as Councilor Ekstrom had pointed out.
There's changes in this here that should be done before you vote on the whole bylaw, especially what has just been raised, you know. You know, like taking out the second and third offenses, it's just, there's a fine, and the dog is destroyed if it's gonna hurt someone, right? Anthony, then Glenn, then Donna.
Not all offenses of where a dog bites someone are we aware of. I think this is likely where a complaint has been registered to the county, and probably our constables have gone out, and that would be then, they validated the incident, and would then be in a position of doing whatever this bylaw would suggest in terms of finding them. It isn't necessarily that we know every dog that goes out and bites somebody, that's reported even to us. So this is only what we're aware of. And I mean, I know of dogs that probably, it's safe to say they bit people, but the owners or no one else advertised it.
Glenn?
I'm okay with the fines. I wouldn't want to be in charge of destroying the dog. That is a civil matter. If, like I said, it shouldn't be up to us to determine if that dog actually bit somebody, because we don't know. We weren't there. It's impossible to say. So the fines are fine. And like I said, it always will go to a civil matter if it's serious. I know that other people have been bit by dogs, and it's gone to a civil matter and payments are made, but it's up to the judge to decide if those dogs are going to be destroyed. And that's the way it should be.
Donna?
So if a dog severely bites someone, like I agree with Anthony, there's lots of dog bites that we would never hear of. The person who gets bit, he can go to the RCMP okay, I'm good. I'm good with this, thanks.
Kara?
Thank you. This discussion's been happening back and forth for months on this, and I believe this stemmed from our CPOs reaching out to council asking for some changes on Menteith for situations they've been dealing with, because up until recently, they had no mechanism to basically do anything. So I'm prepared to make first reading. I would maybe suggest, just because we have, I don't know if council, this part I'm open to. We have made some minor changes. I'm fine with all 3 readings today because I don't think it doesn't change the intent of what's happening. But maybe giving the first and second readings and then delaying it for the 3rd reading. I'm open to that. So with that, I move. Oh, sorry. Then yes. Okay.
Any further discussion? Those opposed? No. All those in favor? Sorry, leading the cause here. Those opposed? 1. Any other direction, Kara?
I move second reading to bylaw 1214-25.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? 1. Go ahead, Kara.
And I'm good either way, but I move to go to 3rd reading for bylaw 12-14, or sorry, I move to go to 3rd reading for bylaw 1214-25.
Glenn? You're just, oh, I see. Any discussion? I'm not going to stop you guys from doing what you want to do. All those in favor of going to 3rd reading? Oh, you got discussion?
So to go to 3rd reading.
This is to go to 3rd reading. It's not necessarily supporting the bylaw. It's just to go to 3rd reading. Same process we've always done. So I'll just call it again. So all those in favor? Okay, that was carried unanimous. If you guys want to finish this today, I'm not going to stop you. Glenn?
I move to give 3rd reading to bylaw 1214-25, 2025 schedule fees bylaw.
Discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? 1. Okay. Well, that kind of takes the bite out of things, doesn't it? Yeah, something to chew on. Thank you. All right. So, that was for the whole bylaw. Manufactured home community taxation bylaw. You're taking it away.
Good morning. I'm just here with an update report for the manufactured home community taxation bylaw. A copy of the manufactured home taxation bylaw, number 1203-25, along with a question form, was sent out to all manufactured home owners and community park managers and owners on April 17th, 2025. And below is a list of questions and comments we've received. Administration acknowledges the concerns of the manufactured home owners, and the park owners would also prefer not to disrupt those who have been paying taxes on time. The primary goal of the proposed bylaw is to protect all ratepayers. After months of research and careful consideration, administration believes moving forward with the proposed plan that was presented to council earlier in 2025 will allow Brazeau County to be proactive, yet acknowledging the concerns raised. Administration will bring back the bylaw for council approval this fall and will continue to work with park owners and manufactured home owners to address concerns and provide clarity on the process.
How does it work in Birchwood, Anthony? No, just in general, we don't charge the association the taxes, we charge each particular home, is that correct? Yeah, okay. So, and that's what you're proposing to do here? Plan on taxing each and every person?
So due to Council for Information, so what we are doing is actually the mobile park owner is responsible for the taxes, and what they will be doing is they will be administering that as they are for profit for business there. So they'll be administering that along with their lot fees and agreements and lease agreements that they hold with each individual lot owner.
Yeah, so that's the same as Birchwood, right? Each one of those people gets a...
Everyone's responsible for their own property taxes.
Right.
In this situation, what we're doing is we're actually including the park owners as an assessed person on the tax assessment roll. So the park owner as well as the lot owner will receive a copy of their assessment tax notice showing what the assessment is and their related taxes there. But it is the park owner's responsibility to ensure that the property is in good standing. And so they can either include that with the lot fees they currently ask, or what we have talked about, we have met with both park owners and spoke to them why we're doing it. They were good conversations with both of them. And what we had said is we would be happy to provide them with some information and some back and forth so they have some insight into it. And what we had also said is if there are, one of the biggest concerns we had received from some of the individuals was they didn't trust that if they gave them money, then the taxes would get paid for them on time. So what we said, if you're good standing, is the 99% of them are, you can continue to pay your taxes directly to Brazeau County, and we can work with the park owners and let them know these individuals are choosing to keep doing what they've always been doing, and we're completely fine with that. It's just, like I say, that 1% of the park owner needs to manage on their side, and in most cases, that 1% is also behind on lot fees and other things like that. So as they're going after them for some of those things, it just makes sense to do both of them there because they're defunct in that. So really, for the majority of the residents, it's not going to change anything, and we'll still work with them and allow them to do what they've been doing.
But everybody has a bad dog. So, Anthony?
Yeah, and the difference between the mobile home parks and Birchwood is Birchwood's mostly fixed homes, where they're not going to be moving them out and the like, where with the trailers, the problem ones are the ones that are overnight perhaps gone in some occasions. So that's what we're trying to deal with. On page 109, what's the timeline for the conclusion of this? Like, it shows a timeline, but it doesn't necessarily show what I call dates for it.
Through the chair to Councillor Heinrich, we're planning to come back, I believe, in September for the second and third reading. And then if both readings are approved, we'll send out notification to the owners and the homeowners with notification that this will take place in the 2027 tax year.
But our bylaw completion would be this year yet?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Pardon me? I guess. Go ahead, Dallas.
All right, so I'll move that Brazeau County Council receive manufactured home community taxation bylaw 120325 for information.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. We're on to general matters. Stampede reception, that's Glenn's thing, and I think there has to be some clarification there, Glenn. Did you attend any Stampede events or just the meetings with ministers?
No, we didn't attend any of the Stampede events, any of the rodeo we didn't. We just went in and come back. So we did attend the rooftop ranch reception, which is put on by the Canadian Strategy Group. And that one actually had a special guest there, Scott Moe, the Premier of Saskatchewan. So yeah, at that event, I'd seen members from Parkland there, the Reeve, or the mayor, and I'd also seen quite a few other councillors there. So including the town of Drayton Valley Mayor Nancy Dodds. So it was good to have some representation there at that. Right after that, we went over to the Alberta Government Stampede reception that's hosted by Devin Dreeshen. And this one was actually the biggest one he's had so far. He moved it to the BMO Center because the group's getting so large. But he brought in Scott Moe as well as Doug Ford, sorry. Doug Ford from Ontario, the Premier. There was a lot of, like I said, dignitaries from the United States there to talk with. There was also other representations from other towns and cities. The
Was
next,
there 1,000 people there, roughly?
at least,
At
yeah,
least, yes.
yeah. It's a big event, and like I said, we're just to get a chance to talk with those people in a one-to-one situation where you're not kind of pushed into a corner or chastising them for anything like that. You're just trying to make a connection, right? So it was nice. The next day was the Premier's Stampede breakfast. And on the way home, we did stop by the golf shop there because of the UFA. Brian Hawthorne called, and he wanted to donate a putter for the charity golf tournament. So it was a good chance to meet with somebody from Calgary representing the UFA. It was, like I said, the event is great. I wish all of council would go, but I understand that it's maybe not for everybody, and the costs are fairly high, but it's a great way to lobby for the Brazeau County. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a good event, Glenn, and we got a good reception from Devin Dreeshen as well. You know, that's all part of the building relationships at Kara. That's her main job, right? And so we were doing some of that, and you know, all of that slowly builds to, you know, a result somewhere. You know, you have to have backing and information and stuff, but we just got what about 33 million from Devin Dreeshen and Bachenko. So that didn't happen on their watch. It was the last 20 years of everybody doing their part to try to build a relationship so that you're given a chance to present your project. So, Glenn, go ahead.
No, sorry. I'm just looking for somebody to receive my report from.
Kara?
And I wanted to add too, I attended too on behalf of RMA as president. I could go through everything that I attended. I was there, I believe, a little bit longer than yourselves were. I think I came in Thursday. I did, yes. I came in Thursday, and I left. I had to leave Monday afternoon because we had a very important MBC meeting that I came back for that was more important than some other work that was happening down there. So I actually put VP John in charge of some other things those couple days. But I want to relay the importance of having attendance at these events. No, you don't go and attend the rodeo, and it's, if you've got time, you can do stuff on your personal time, that's fine. But the focus of when we're down there is attending these events solely to talk to the people that we need to talk to. And I agree with what Councillor Gunderson has brought forward. The amount of other elected officials from other municipalities you run into, it's notable when you're there. The ministers and the MLAs, both federally too as well, because there was a number of federal MPs that were present that I managed to hunt down and hound, is incredible. And every little conversation or the pieces of work that we're doing when we're there is important. And I think that the big highlight this year is we have Highway 621, and it was directly due to some of the conversations and the pushing that we've had the last several years when we're attending those events. The other opportunity this provides, and I know it's hard for the public to understand, but it's an opportunity to have not only provincial ministers, MLAs, but federal MPs too. They're all in the same area. So when you're needing to meet with people, it saved, honestly, a trip to Calgary saved us a trip to Ottawa because of the people who are there. I know most mornings there's actually a lot of work that happens in the morning. I started most of my days at 7 a.m. with breakfast meetings with federal MPs, and I actually had a private breakfast with the Municipal Affairs Minister. It was the first time him and I had a chance to sit down face to face. We totally didn't realize we booked it right over top of the parade, so logistically it was a nightmare getting to our breakfast place downtown at that time in the morning, but we made it. So I know people see it as they think we're out, partying. It's absolutely not. You don't have time to actually. You come back, you're exhausted from just the amount of work you're doing when you're down there. And I think it is a unique opportunity. I cannot stress enough to have those key figures that we need to talk to all together in one spot and be able to kind of bounce from one room to another to have those conversations. One thing I would suggest going forward, this is the second year I believe we've sent someone. I would even set a motion to have staff set rooms up already. I know RMA books our rooms starting right now for next year. We don't put names on rooms, they just put a hold on. You save immensely booking hotel rooms now for next year, almost a quarter of what they would cost trying to get a room. And the other piece is, I know we don't know who's going to be in these seats next year, but it would just set up that whoever attends at least has a room at a decent rate. Yes, I think that was.
Okay. Did anybody make a motion to approve his report?
I move to receive Councillor Gunderson's report on the Calgary Stampede events.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Oh, no, we did that one. Joint Charity Golf Classic.
That motion, and so the hotels are a huge issue. This year worked out pretty good. We were up by the airport there. It wasn't a big deal to get an Uber from where we were at, but if you could save some money, you could always cancel it. Like I said, we may not be the ones in these seats next year, but I move to direct administration to book hotels in advance for the Calgary Stampede reception for 2026.
Discussion? All those in favor? Pardon me? Yeah, usually that's what it is, but, maybe there'll be 4 people goes, instead of just 3. What's that?
Oh, okay, so you can, I would say 7 hotel rooms and then cancel out whoever doesn't want to go.
Kara? Okay. I guess we can cancel. All those in favor? Those opposed? Anthony and Dallas. It's like a Christmas present. You keep the receipt, right? Just in case you have to return it.
Jokes aside,
What?
I can check this, Tina, she has rooms on board for the fall convention for RMA. If you didn't get into the block rooms, they're quoting $800 a night.
So we've got
It's not even the block rate for check.
Oh, okay.
This is the importance of pre-planning and pre-booking.
Crazy. All right. Golf Charity Classic. Glenn, you got your report?
Thank you, Reeve. So yeah, this day went off very, very well. The weather cooperated with us. It was sunny and beautiful. The day started off with everybody would behave themselves, and everybody came right when they had to and got registered. And I'd never played on a golf course with a shotgun event like this, but it makes sense how you do it now. You all drive to your designated hole, and that's how it starts. I thought we all started at hole 1, and I thought this is going to take forever, but No, it's altogether different. It was a good learning experience. The biggest letdown, I guess, was that the CEO, or the past CEO, Pat Vincent, decided he's had some yard work to do, so he didn't come. So, but that was, we really would have appreciated had he come, but couldn't get it all. But we did have Ben Scrivens there. He was auctioned off by Corey Secura, and somebody got to play with him for the day. We had the ladies from the Purple Lights Gala set up a table and gave information for people. The Drayton Valley Health Services Foundation, they also brought out some, not sure what you call them, bedpans, I guess, and then you would chip golf balls into the bedpan for a competition. The Drayton Valley Health Foundation was there, or Drayton Valley Hospitality and Tourism Authority came and they had free drinks for everybody. RMA Insurance showed up with the pickup truck so you could get a photo with it. They also had pops and chips. There was Stollery wasn't there. Would have been nice to have had some presentation or information, but they part of the money went there. So overall, this event raised roughly, well, it did raise $70,850. By the time expenses were paid, there was $52,799.41 left over. So that'll be split 3 ways between the Stollery, the Purple Lights Gala for the PCCS, and the Drayton Valley Health Foundation. So roughly $17,000 per organization. So we missed our mark by $25,000, but still we did not bad for the event, and for not knowing what we were doing for the most part, it went really well.
Okay, Kara?
So just putting the bug in the ear, and I know it's a difficult conversation because we don't know who's going to be sitting here, but the committee is hoping and looking forward to next year's event and what that's going to look like. So there'll probably be some provisions going forward about what it's going to look like. We're hoping to make this an annual event. And it was amazing. So, and I believe, just for public record, I know the councilors who participated, we paid our own way, just so that we're clear, because I know there's been a few comments made about that. I can guarantee you I paid for it myself, and didn't charge out for the day as well. So it was a fantastic, just a great day to get together with the community, and raise some money for some really, really important causes here. So I know there was some really happy organizations.
Letter of support for the rural wealth creation. What? Oh, Dallas?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, so I thought it was a great cause and a great event. I'm very disappointed in myself that I wasn't able to attend, but if you could have included the amounts raised in the report, I think that would have been beneficial. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that would be really good. But it maybe in the future, maybe we could get Ken, our communications officer, to do the reporting on it, and then you could focus more on your game and you could come home with the big money. Okay, so I'll move to receive for information.
Discussion, all those in favor? Okay, letter of support rural wealth creation. I've attended 2 of these, I believe. Who else has attended this? You attended 2 as well? Have we seen what the results were of those meetings? Glenn?
So yeah, I think we've all attended these meetings, Reeve, and what this letter is for is just to help them get their 4-year grant cycle. This is their big grant that they get to continue operations. So they've just kind of got started. We got into rural wealth creation last year with 1 meeting, and they've had about 4 meetings so far this year. But coming out of this, we're just getting a lot of collaboration with everybody in the town, including private business and the other nonprofits, as well as our town of Drayton Valley. So this letter, all it is to help support their funding. It was identified as a way that we could help. So far, this really hasn't been a big expense for Brazeau County to pursue this, and there's a lot of potential with it. Westlock County has, like I said, and the town of Westlock, they've managed to get a rail spur in due to this rural wealth creation. And there's been some other towns, but going with distilleries and everything else. So it's a way to bring in the banks, private interest, government, nonprofits, all under one roof and lobby for something that we would want in our community. So with that, I move to ratify the letter of support for the Rural Wealth Creation 4-year CIHR grant application from Dr. Maria Mayan's project.
Discussion? All those in discussion, go ahead, Dalla.
Yeah, I think that the letter should be under a little bit more from the perspective of Brazeau County and less of that from a councillor. I think it should be under the Reeves signature. And I think it's a great template. Maybe we could just refine it, give it to our administration and iron it out a little bit and then send it off. Because I don't think it's enough of a county perspective. There are a number of I statements, and I would just take those out. You know, I think it needs to be just a little bit more generalized and a little more generic. Is my take on it.
Glenn?
I guess this letter came because after the meetings, they would go in and they would ask people who wants to participate more with these meetings, who's interested in helping. So that's why they approached me for it. That's why my signature is on it. It's on behalf of all of Brazeau Council, but it doesn't really put us in a corner or dedicate us to do anything other than saying that we're, as Brazeau County. And like I said, the problem is this letter had to be in yesterday. So this is to ratify this. It's, if we redo it, they'll lose this letter. So that was the problem with, otherwise we could have brought it today, we could have refined it, made it perfect, but unfortunately it had to be out yesterday. So it was a weird situation, and I apologize to council for it, just the way that with us not having any meetings during the summertime, it fell here.
Go ahead, Dallas.
That's why I think that summer meeting that we deleted is kind of important, even if it's a light meeting and staff isn't entirely attend. We should still have those meetings. That's just my little beef. But I don't know that this is a county-driven initiative, or is the county on board for this? I think we just attended as a discovery, and now it's kind of materializing into something a lot more solid. And is that where we're at? I don't know. It's just a question.
Yeah, it's kind of taken the decision-making out of the council's hands and into your hands, Glenn. I don't know how to really deal with this, although there could have been some communication, emails. Go ahead, Glenn.
There was, I had emailed all the council, including yourself, to present the situation, to get a show of hands, to see, do you support this? Like I said, it's, if they want, all this is for, we either want them to get the grant or we don't want them to get the grant. It was that simple. So if you wanted them to get this grant to help them out, then we would sign. If we don't want to, if you want, then we wouldn't. But yeah, I did have a show of hands, and I had the majority of council. I realize that's not the way a meeting's ever supposed to be done. But unfortunately, just the timeline's the way that this worked out. So that's why this is to ratify the letter.
Okay. It's already done, so. Donna?
I do think that it should have been under the Reeves signature, just going forward.
You couldn't get in time to sign it. You tried.
No, that's not true.
I was told by Lee Chambers that you were going to come in Monday morning to sign it. So it could have been signed by you, apparently. That's the way I thought it was going to go. I signed the letter just in case you didn't show up, so I'm assuming you didn't show up on Monday.
Do we have checks to sign then, Tina, on the Monday? Yeah.
Yeah, I am also Deputy Reeve, but I would agree with Council Wiltsey. It would have been nice to have the Reeve signature on it, but it's just the way it panned out. It was just, if you didn't show up, I wanted to make sure that the letter was signed, but the letter could have been reprinted with you signing.
Pardon me? Did I call the question? Donna?
Like, if we all do this, then it just gets, it could get way out of hand. Like we have to have the support
The
of.
protocol, yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
should have the decision-making, and you can't make a decision on a phone or an email. We were reprimanded back when Marco was here about doing that. Anthony?
Probably would have been better if Glenn would have signed it as Deputy Reeve rather than Counselor Division 1, because he does have that position. And we've ratified letters before where the deadline was required before the meetings and then had them ratified. So this isn't that unusual.
Go ahead, Dallas.
Yeah, the only thing that really makes it, kind of unique at this time of the year, this time of the term, is that we don't want to have it look like it's campaigning in any way, shape, or form. It just has to be generic, blank, neutral. That's all. Otherwise, yeah, I'm with you.
Go ahead, Glenn.
So I didn't write the letter. I never typed one word of it. Administration typed the letter up. Lead Chambers, I believe, assisted with it and approved it. So, like I said, I read the letter, signed it after understanding what it was. But like I said, all it is for them to help them get a grant.
Okay, well, this has been a good educational discussion, so we'll try to carry on as if we're normal next time. Kara?
Is there a motion on the floor?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Lunchtime? Delegation coming in. I'm going to call the meeting back to order. Maybe we can get a little more work done. Do we leave off on the letter of support for rural wealth? Yeah, we just finished there. Okay. Task force. Does somebody want to appoint me to the task force for the homeless? Glenn?
Oh, just a question, Reeve. It says that the meeting was on the 14th. Did you go? Did you attend?
Too short a notice for me. I was there with you at the opening of 621.
Oh, was that the same date,
Same day, yeah.
time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was in the afternoon, but it was just too short a notice for me. So,
Oh, you should have said, because I could have went. I would have been
Yeah.
happy to have gone.
my brain was wrapped around getting so excited about 621 that
Okay.
everything else got blanked out, quite frankly.
Would you would you think it'd be okay to put an alternate on this
Yeah,
motion?
we could ask them if they want an alternate.
Okay, I move to authorize the Reeve or alternate to sit on the mayor's task force for the unhoused committee.
Okay. Sure. Discussion? All those in favor? Okay, that's carried. Yeah, he had that in his motion to appoint the Reeve and/or his alternate. Glenn, you're interested? Okay. And then maybe they'll take two of us too. It's a big problem. I'm not sure what we're going to do. My initial ideas is to quantify what sort of demographics we got out there. You know, I hear it's anywhere from 15 to 55. Numbers are 40, sometimes up to 70. There's 3 camps. So you need to quantify who is there, because that might help with the solution that you come to at the end of the day. But part of it is seek first to understand and then be understood, right? So, little Stephen Covey there. So that's what my initial, thing is let's find out what's there, who's there, and then what can we legally do? And just get those questions kind of answered, and it'll probably lead to a lot more questions. Because it's a mess there, and there is some criminal activity. There is lots of piles of tech cable strippings, so you know that they're harvesting the copper from somewhere. So, which means, without short-circuiting what the process is gonna be, but those that are doing criminal activity must be dealt with, first and foremost. Anyway, we've passed that already? Was I chewing my cabbage afterwards? I was. Soldier? Drayton Valley Library request to reallocate funding. Who was speaking on this? You were, Glenn?
Well, thank you, Reeve. So, as we all know that we were going to get a C-CAN for the library, we were going to put $10,000 towards the purchase and the setup of it. The town stepped in and offered a C-CAN that they already had, so we're going to share that with them. So the library manager emailed me and said, well, should we just get that money? And I said, no, it should come to council. We don't want to pull a bait and switch on them. So this is what the letter is. It's saying the money that's been, that we could have used for a C-CAN, is there any chance we could use it for a library collection development? And I'll speak to that a little bit. So this year in the library, we budgeted for 2025 and we had a pretty good budget, but what we didn't anticipate was the homeless. That forced us to try out a temporary situation by hiring a security guard. It worked very well, so that's gone permanent, so that's affected the budget a bit. The other one was money that we wanted to put towards the collection development was instead used for renovations. That kind of came up. We had some electrical issues, we had carpet issues, paint issues that needed to be addressed, so that went that way. The third is the tariffs. It's going to impact the libraries for sure, because all of the paper that goes into the States to make books, it'll come back tariffed. It goes in tariffed and it comes back tariffed. So the price of books will increase rather high. So the town of Drayton Valley, at their last meeting, resolution 180/2025, they motioned that the money previously allocated for the C-CAN for the library be redirected towards the library collection development. So the town of Drayton Valley is offering up their $10,000 they've done. So I don't think, after looking at our budget numbers here and looking at the bank balance, $10,000 isn't going to be a big hit for us. We've already budgeted that money. To allocate that wouldn't be an issue, but we would want to hear council's thoughts.
Anthony?
Well, that's what I just heard Glenn saying about the security being something that's probably going to be ongoing expense for the library. And if we put this forward like this, I guess they already had challenges, the library board, at least from past years, what I heard, in terms of meeting all their obligations. Now they have another cost that requires for security. It's going to challenge their limitations of their budget even more, and they're probably coming back to us for even more. So I think we need to be aware that it could be a higher budget, and this might be, opening the door to allowing for a significant increase unplanned for, above and beyond what the contract says specifies, which is just COLA. Anyway, I think that's what the contract specifies. At least Breton's is that way, and I'm pretty sure Drayton's is similar. So I have some concerns with just additionally giving them $10,000.
So it should be put towards the normal operating? No, from what we would normally, so if we're paying 50,000, first 10,000, but that would be this 10,000?
Incorporated, in my opinion, it should be incorporated within what we already were given. So if we're given this, there shouldn't be an expectation of another 10 because of cost increases like security for next year's budget.
Okay.
We already have a contract that specifies how it can escalate, to what extent.
Okay. Donna, then Dallas?
I think this was a one-time ask. I think we'd look pretty bad if we took it back. Like, the town left theirs with the library, saying they could use it. $10,000, I mean, it's a lot of money, but
Dallas? And then we'll have to deal with it via motion.
Yes. Yeah, thanks, Reeve. Yeah, the Drayton Valley, the need has been met by the CCAN. So this is over and above what they're, have been asking for. I have received a letter from the Breton Municipal Library, which I would like to share with you, requesting a share of that. Once we allocate monies to libraries, libraries are very unique and special entities, and if we give to one, we give to the other. We have 2 libraries in Brazeau County. One is in Drayton Valley, one is in Breton. There has to be equity here, or this is just not fair, period.
What is this asking for?
It's just a letter from the,
Continued support in your county, replacing furniture, worn chairs?
yeah,
Okay,
from the
so
Breton
they've
Library.
got some needs as well.
They have the exact same needs. The scale is smaller, but they have the exact same needs.
Okay. Glenn?
I'll make a motion with that then. I move that the $10,000 cost share money previously allocated for the Drayton Valley Municipal Library, CCAN, be directed towards the library collection development for the town of Drayton Valley Municipality, 50%, and 50% for the Breton Municipal Library.
So they would have to give 5 back. Because they got 10 already over there.
They didn't get any money. They haven't got them.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Everybody understand?
So just for clarification?
Yeah, go ahead.
So just for clarification, they've received an asset worth X amount of value. So the CCAN is still valued at $10,000. So they'll get 10 plus 5, but Breton will get 5. Is that what I'm reading into this motion?
I thought there was just 10,000 on the table, split up.
Just 10,000. The town still owns the CCAN.
Town still owns the CCAN? Okay, I see. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and so you suggested 50/50?
That letter, I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds fair to me.
Okay. I'm not on the library board, so I have to trust you guys are giving us good advice. And if you're not, no Christmas presents. All right, all those in favor? That's carried unanimous.
Yes, we do want that. Okay?
Do you want to bring them in?
That's all right.
Yeah. Might as well get ready for this. You know, Stephen Lindop was the last principal in Alberta to give the strap.
Is that right?
Yeah. Last one,
That's too bad.
yeah.
The last one, thanks.
All right, so don't have to call the meeting back to order. We're here. RCMP Commanding Officer letter letting us know that there's been a change again. Have you met him yet, Kara? Have you met him yet? The RCMP, the new commanding officer.
Yeah, I've met him several times and actually happy to report him and the head of business operations for the RCMP actually come out to our community quite regularly. So just another thing with RMA, I'm able to host them here for meetings. We actually have lunch quite often at the White Bull. And be able to talk about some issues in a different setting, which is nice. So, no, he's fantastic. He's been reaching out to RMA. Very open. I have his personal cell number, so him and as well as Nina's too as well. So if we've got any issues, they've been great to work with. Look forward to them.
Okay, thanks. We'll need a motion to accept his letter for information. Donna?
I move to accept the letter from the Minister of Education and Child. Oh, that's not what we're talking about. I move to accept the letter from the, okay, we're not talking about this one either. Where are we?
Page 139, RCMP correspondence.
My goodness, okay. From the Deputy Commissioner for Information. Sorry.
Discussion? All those in favor? Kara? You're in favor? Yes. All right. That's carried unanimous. Got another letter from Municipal Affairs. Supporting data centers. Do we have any input on the data centers from administration's point of view? I mean, the concern we possibly have is utilization of the capacity for growth might get consumed by the data centers, right?
Yeah, and I think the concern, Reeve, was the tax base and the ineligibility to tax the actual computers or the servers. And so I think that's what the province is working on, and I think that even if you go back almost a year ago to our meeting with Minister Neudorf, they're working pretty hard to try and regulate and build tax systems for these new industries. Data centers are one. So hopefully, in our engagement with the ministers at RMA, we'll start to get some updates on some of the work that's being done on this.
We should certainly capture those points in an ongoing memo, like the follow-up action list kind of thing.
Yeah.
Preparing information for minister meetings in the fall.
Yeah.
Okay, then we've got Minister MLA from Dimitrios. Minister of Education and Childcare. Glenn?
I move to receive the Minister of Municipal Affairs letter from July 16, 2025 for information.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. OWA, anything we want to note there? Anybody, Glenn?
I move to receive the letter from the Minister of Education and Childcare from July 15th, 2025 for information.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Purple Lights Gala. Glenn?
I move to receive the July 18th, 2025 letter from the Orphan Well Association President for information.
Oh, we didn't just do that one? Oh, okay. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Purple Lights Gala.
So this one was included, I asked for it to be included. The Pembina Crisis Connection Society, they're dependent on funding, and some of it's been cut. So they're going to host this Purple Lights Gala. It's going to have a gambling night. What do they call those? Casino nights. So yeah, it'll be kind of a neat thing, but it's to help them raise money towards their organization and maybe towards putting together a women's shelter. So the only problem with this is that this happens after the election, so we might not be the ones going, so we're kind of directing council. But I have talked to our CEO, and he said that if the councilors don't want to go, that staff could go in that place. But I think it's an important event to support, and this is a way that we can support it. So I move to direct administration to purchase a $950 table of 8 for the November 1st, 2025 PCCS Purple Lights Gala in Drayton Valley, funded through the council's public relations budget 02-11-00-222, and authorize council's attendance.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. Family History Day. Glenn,
I move to authorize the Reeve or alternative Deputy Reeve to attend the Family History Day, October 18th, 2025.
discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. Okay, we're left with reports. Dallas, you're up first.
Am I? Okay. Pickleball? You don't want to worry about pickleball, Lee?
Yep. I don't know how to play the game, but
Okay, I'm with you. Okay, forget it.
On the pickleball, we had discussed selecting a date for the grand opening. And to that end, I don't know if it's amenable to council, but Minister Boychenko would also like to participate in that. And a recommended day when he could participate would be September 11th at 10 a.m. So I was asked on behalf of Minister Boychenko to propose that date as an opportunity for council if it's suitable.
911. My mom's birthday. Can't forget it.
I think we better challenge him to pickleball.
11. Pardon me, September 11th at 10 a.m. is what's recommended by the minister.
And that's out at,
Out at the site, at the
the
pickleball
site,
site. Yeah. Match to follow, as I understand it. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
okay. Somebody want to make a motion? September 11th, 10 o'clock. Anthony,
I move to authorize council's attendance at the opening of the pickleball court at Lindale on September 11th, 10 a.m.
discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. Yeah, we missed all the, I started doing the reports and then somebody jumped in on something. But we gotta go back to number 14.
Did you do what we're doing? We did, didn't we? I thought we did. I thought we did. Yeah, what is it? Yeah, sounds good.
August 29th. Are we talking Family History Day still?
Alberta Day celebration.
Where's the paper on that?
Additions.
Oh, okay,
I'll move it for you.
go ahead.
All right. So I'll move that Brazeau County Council send Reeve or designate to Alberta Celebration Day, August 29th, 2025, at 11 a.m.
Well, that's be coming up here shortly. Okay. Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. Okay. We're gonna go back to number 14, all the reports.
Okay, FCSS, Breton, very busy summer. The summer's beginning to wind down. We celebrated, we had a lot of events, summer youth program, bird watching, capture the flag, bugs and butterflies, life skill days, girls' day, very busy summer as usual. No time for talking, just for walking. Community information night celebrates Breton chili cook-off, and that's on September the 16th coming up. And September 27th is Ladies' Night, and save the date for Fall Community Supper Entertainment, Friday, October 17th. There's lots going on in Breton. If you want more details, just reach out to Dallas, or else you can look in the Breton Booster. Every week it carries something for Breton FCSS. Thank you.
Okay, keep going. You got Eagle Points? Did you have any meetings?
No meeting, no report?
Okay. Donna, you're up for the next 5, 6.
Well, okay, West Central Airshed, we had a meeting with just one of the people from West Central Airshed came out to Drayton, or to Drayton, to the county, and we had a meeting with the safety lady here. I can't remember her name. Who is our safety lady? Kathy. Yes, Kathy. So, we are going to work with her on bringing the air quality into the safety program. FCSS, no meeting, but I'm sure they're doing as much as Breton is. No? I'm kidding. No, I don't think they are doing as much as Breton is. But we haven't had a meeting. Where are we? EPAC, we are excited about the street party. We're having a photo booth, and everyone that comes into the photo booth will have to listen to our expansion story, if we can catch them. So we're excited about sharing that. District Community Learning Association, I'm very embarrassed about this. I have not been to one of their meetings. It seems like every time they have a meeting, I have something else going on, and I was called maybe 3 weeks ago, and they told me that I missed 3 meetings in a row, so I'm out. Yeah, so, so somebody else will have to come forth next round. Apologies, I don't know what I can't say anything about it, so. The Brazeau Senior Foundation is very busy, looking into a new build, how to build it, where to build it, looking into funding options, and everybody is just aflutter, all excited about the whole thing, so that's about all.
Any highlights from the meeting last week?
Oh, it was super. Yeah, it was, I thought it was just awesome. What'd you guys think?
Well, I'm concerned that it gets attached to the lodge, and then we're paying 75% of the cost. That's why I want to try to keep it separate and not, on the existing facility. And I'm not sure that having a library where we have some less desirable people to hang out at, having them by the seniors.
Yeah, that's a concern, but I love the outside funding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I came away from that would not be happening, that we would be paying.
50-50 kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll.
I don't know.
Yeah, and those are the unknowns that have to be resolved, before it gets too far down the line. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it. I got called away. I was here at MPC and then I ran away, but Some other counselors went. I'd be interested to know what your perspectives were. The last time when I sat in the initial meeting, the one meeting that I had where they did the cost, what do you call it, the formula, it was very well done. If they could do it with donations, with grants, our requisition would remain the same, provincial funding, and we just hold a line. And whatever they decide to do, it looks I'm with them. I'm very excited as well. But is the library component, is it becoming a reality, or is it still just an idea, or where's that at?
Go ahead, Glenn.
So yeah, we broke into 4 groups with the people that were there. Everyone sat at their table, at their assigned table, and we were given a piece of real estate. So there's 4 pieces of land available in the area and some of it was too far away from the middle of town. Others would have worked really nice, but at no point in time did the library come into the conversation. It was mostly, what do we want to do with these properties? Do we want to do a mix of small, tiny homes with seniors residentials? What sort of transportation? Would we do paths with golf courts? Would we do trolleys? We talked about underground parking. All 4 tables decided that underground parking was key to the next facility. That was really super important to them. And then it delved into the possibility of 2 separate buildings. One would have a rooftop patio. The next would be full of solar. The connections to the urban environment. You could have a dog park, walking parks. So yeah, we were given it was a workshop, and we were told to dream big, and everybody did. And it was really interesting because everybody more or less had the same ideas, and we were bringing in seniors, which was important because they kind of showcased what they wanted. Like, a lot of them do want to have people stop by, but not to the point. They want to have an exit point so they can go back to get away from people. Like, they want some interaction, but they don't want it full time. And for the most part, like I said, it was the designs and concepts. Everybody came up with a design and a concept for the way things would be parked, for the way that the buildings would look, for the way that the grounds would look. And it was all quite interesting. And there was some talk about bringing in some commercial developments as well. So yeah, it was with the rural wealth creation, it opens up the ability for people to direct part of their RSPs. So in the county here, after only two years and 8 months, I've accumulated $25,000 worth of mutual funds, which is impressive. But in that case, I could, if we could do this, then I could take 10,000 of that and put it towards the rural wealth creation, and that would actually bring in income. So these parking garages and things like that, you could actually bring in a little revenue. So the key here is working with banks. So you'd have a local bank pick it up, and then they would offer the mutual fund. So yeah, you would fund it through other sources, not just, like I said, I know the concern here is that the county's got to pay for all of this, and I don't think that's the case. I think that if you do a correct mix of the housing, you could do some of it with high-end homes where the seniors are paying to be on the top floors, where they'd have access to those facilities. They would have those, and then a mix of lower standard units at the bottom, sort of a thing, but everybody gets to be in the same area, and it would help with loneliness and whatever. I was disappointed that the library didn't bring it in. It wasn't part of that conversation, but it wasn't. But yeah, like I said, but that wasn't, like I said, it wasn't.
I think the devil will be in the details, as we know. So everybody's talking right now, assuming that there's a certain direction going on, but we don't know that right now. You know, Anthony.
Yeah, I was at that meeting too. I went after MPC, and I mean, as Glenn pointed out, there was 4 different tables later in the meeting that discussed piece of land and how it could be developed. And I think certainly at our table, what I heard, one of the participants quite confidently suggested that it should be funded at the end, whatever it was, you know, based on the same formula that we are for the funding of the operations right now, the Brazeau Foundation. And it also was suggested, as I heard the conversation, not just at our table, but later on the complete review, that it would be a phased approach. So some project might get built to a certain extent, and then second phase 2, phase 3 later on. And so it could be an addition of what I would call not only initial tax that could be funneled our way to Brazeau, but phase 2 and phase 3 could lead to additional tax attributes to Brazeau County. So I think we need to be really careful, because when they talked about the other funding sources that they were speaking of, and they were quite promising, but I think, in my opinion, in my experience, every time we look at some ideals, the reality falls quite short of the ideals. And so when we look at some of these optimistic funding models, I think we don't always get the expected results. And what happens then usually is municipalities pay, and the formula, the way it's set up, would be us paying.
Yeah, I think at the next meeting, we have to sit down and seriously look at what the funding strategy would be, and get that locked in too. Because I agree with you, Anthony, on this particular case. The town sometimes does things in a way that inspires you to want to do something, and at the end of the day, the municipalities pick up the tab, and the existing funding model is 75-25. What's that?
That we would not go that way. I'm pretty sure we had that.
Yeah, we had that discussion too, but I don't buy it until it's actually locked down somewhere, because... Go ahead, Anthony.
One of the participants that sat at our table, maybe he didn't say it at the same time as he said it to everyone, but certainly in the comments that I heard, he certainly said when it comes to the funding, bottom line, it would be on the same formula that's already there. And so that means us paying 75%.
Right. So that's the part that has to be challenged at the beginning. Glenn, or not Glenn, you don't want to take Glenn, Dallas.
Oh, yeah, so I agree. We'll definitely do our due diligence, and be a part of the equation. At this point, we need to definitely be at the table. But it's, senior housing is a revenue generator, so it is not just, you know, where we put funds into. It's senior housing. It's not, it's still, you still have to pay to be there. You still have to pay to play. So
Yeah, but not to build it.
it's a
just to
revenue
operate
generator,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And I've looked at the formulas. They had some great formulas, 3 different types of formulas that would, and our payment remained the same. So yeah, we'll do our due diligence and we'll see where it lands. I'm optimistic though.
All right. That was an extension.
Thanks, Donna.
Okay, keep going, Donna. Are you done? Eleanor, DV, early childhood development. Donna? Nothing there?
No meeting.
Okay, so,
Actually, I don't know if I brought this up at last meeting, is they're saying we don't really need,
to be there?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, yeah, they're saying we don't need this group anymore because the funding has changed.
Okay. We'll strike it from the list. Maybe have a motion to strike this committee? Dismantle it?
I move to have the Early Childhood Development Board removed from the list of
Have meetings to attend?
meetings to attend.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. So, I think that's caught them all then. Glenn?
There were no meetings for either Yellowhead or the Drayton Valley.
Anthony?
With the, I guess, Recreation Board, it was a short meeting. Mostly reports were on the status of the facilities that were being operated. Like, for example, it also was mentioned that Glendale Pickleball Court was now going to be open shortly. And I don't know if Kara has anything that she wants to add. And in the Agricultural Service Board, we're finding that several municipalities are declaring an agricultural disaster, particularly some of the north and east of the province. And they're having severe shortages of feed there and pasture. Also, we talked about at our last meeting the weed matrix that we use for giving weed notices and weed enforcements, and adjusted it a bit. And we've discussed the livestock, a possible livestock emergency evacuation plan, and how our county, first of all, how County Grand Prairie has got one, and we talked about that one, and then talked with our emergency planning person, Kathy, and how ours is developing. And then that's it for Ag Service Board, at least what I saw as the main points. Municipal Planning Commission, we approved 3 acreages, as well as a development permit for a fairly large shop, which had some controversy. And then Pembina Synergy Group, I don't believe there was a meeting.
All right, with Alice, we had a couple of applications that went through the board. Warburg Seed Cleaning, I'm not sure if they've lost my email or not. I haven't heard from them, like all summer. So maybe we need to contact them and re-give them the email address. Warburg Seed Cleaning, yeah, that one. What's that? Can you speak to Dallas?
Sure, right here.
Oh, Alice.
So you called and you said you invited me to come to the Alice tour this
Yeah, that's on the-
Thursday.
That's coming up. There's, when day is that? Is that the 11th as well, or is it
The
the 10th?
21st. The 21st
Oh,
of
that's a
August?
different one. That's the Alice in Parkland County. That's where it kind of originated. So they, offered an invite kind of thing. So I thought you'd be as well. You'd be
So,
good to go.
yeah, I could, said we could carpool together to the thing, but, can I get somebody to move to authorize my attendance?
Right, okay. No, that's the one that's in Parkland County. It's the 21st. The 12th is the Alice Supper, I believe. Yeah, well, make a motion.
So this is the Alice tour in Parkland. If anyone would like to motion to authorize my attendance?
Anthony?
And Bart, you need yours authorized as well?
Yeah.
I move to authorize Dave and Glenn to attend the Alice tour in Parkland County.
Discussion. All those in favor? Carried unanimous. And the Alice Supper, I think it should be open to all the council. Yes. Somebody want to make a motion to authorize?
So Brazeau County isn't having an Alice event this year?
They're not doing a tour. I don't think they're doing a tour. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the supper. But not doing a field tour. Well, you can just authorize all of council that wishes to attend. Somebody want to make a motion?
Oh, I move to authorize all of council their attendance at the Alice and Agricultural Service Board Agriculture Appreciation Night on September 12th at Breton Hall.
Discussion? All those in favor? Okay, I wasn't finished my reports, but I let Glenn cut in there. So technology innovation, we haven't had a meeting since. You were there by yourself? You haven't, though, Rudy?
Reeve, we had the one meeting. I did not attend. I had to go back to Saskatchewan for a personal family matter. But the focus of that meeting that I missed was the presentation from the group that was working with data centers and provided the committee with information on data centers, how the growth is, where they're looking for areas to expand. And as far as I understand from the minutes, that information, that presentation was just received for information by the committee.
Okay. You got some question, Anthony? Oh. Okay. Recreation master plan, that's all of council? Oh, okay.
I think we need to change that on here because it's Kara and I were appointed last meeting, so it's no longer all of council. So we need to change that designation.
Okay.
Okay, no, but, and Kara is vice chair of that committee, I believe, at least of the prior, usual recreation committee, so I would suggest she would be the reporting individual on that one. If that's okay with her?
Go ahead, Anthony.
With that, if there's no further comments, I'm prepared to receive the reports for information.
Yep.
I move to receive the reports for information.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried. Okay. Carried unanimous. Purple Lights Gala. We did that one? What did we miss? Okay, sale of Cynthia lots. And ATIA.
Mark, I have that one item to add at the top.
And that one was 29. L.
Is that what mine will be on the recreation stuff?
What was the name of that?
Or you can just, yeah, 29.
Yep. I move to add an item to enclosed session 35D, recreation opportunity, ATIA 29.
Recreation? Okay, so we need to make a motion to include all of those items. No? No, you got another one, Dallas?
No, this is closed.
We gotta go in closed, and we gotta list the items and what the fight number is. Oh, I see, okay. Go ahead, Dallas.
No, just wait for the vote then.
Okay, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. You got something else, Dallas?
We'll just go into close, Reeve, if you're comfortable with that.
Well, normally you cite what the items are.
Yes.
And then you put the appropriate number beside them.
Okay, good. So I'll move that Brazeau County Council go in closed session for item 35A, sale of Cynthia lots, ATIA Section 30, 35B, Ag Services. Oh, we don't need that anymore? Okay, strike that. So then we have a legal concern that Councillor Wiltse brought up, I'll call that item B for ATI Section 30. And we just added Councillor Westerlund's request for recreation, Section 20.
We need a motion to come out of enclosed.
Everybody jumps in the pump.
Kara,
I'll move that Brazeau County Council come out of enclosed session, please.
thanks, Kara. All those in favor? All right, we got 5 minutes. You guys over to that Rocky Rapids Hall. cats. All right, I'll call the meeting back to order. Any direction coming from enclosed?
I move to direct administration to offer for sale by tender the Cynthia lots as described in closed session.
Go ahead, Glenn. Oh, you're good? Okay. Donna? Discussion, all those in favor? Carried.
See the legal discussion for information and direct the CAO to follow up as discussed in closed.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous.
I move to receive the recreational opportunity discussion for information.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous.
I move adjournment.
Oh, got a little greedy there.
Well, it's time for discussion, though. We have voted.
All those in